welcome to podcast 32. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Melissa.
And we're from Espace Tricot, and we're back from summer vacation.
After a long hiatus.
Yes, we got a lot of people asking us, when are you going to podcast? When's it going to happen? Well, here we are, finally. I guess for me, it's sort of like you get back to it after Labor Day. Even though you're still working and doing stuff, it's just
to the actual routine.
Yeah. The routine of like, okay, we'd have responsibilities and stuff like that. It was good to wait till after Labor Day.
I agree. Yeah. I think we very much enjoyed our time off, but we come back sort of reinvigorated and recommitted to, coming at you more regularly.
And all the new projects and stuff. And lots of you followed us on Instagram and all our
summer travels.
And Melissa, why don't you...
I feel it seems like so long ago. Don't you feel like when you come back from holiday, 2 days back, 3 days back, and it's just like, it's over, it's gone.
It's like, London Life had those Freedom 55 commercials way back when we were kids. It was like, can you retire at 55?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like always been in the back of my head.
Oh,
you know? Freedom 55 of just
Wouldn't that be great?
Always traveling and always being off.
And always being off on another trip.
But that's not the reality.
That's not the reality.
Yeah.
So we thoroughly enjoyed we were gone for 3 weeks, I think. So we did a week in Rome and then 2 weeks with Johannes's family in Germany, which is always a pleasure. We only get there every 2 years or so. And but this year we decided to add that week on in Rome. We thought Tristan was a good age. He's 14, 15. 14 was he? He was still 14 at the time. Turned 15 this summer. And, he's into the history, and Johannes has been there a few times and was dying to take Tristan back. And, of course, I was completely
open.
So let's do it. And we did it. And I have to say, I don't know what my expectations were. I thought I would go and I would enjoy it. It would be a fun trip. But I loved it. I loved Rome so much. I thought the people, the food, the atmosphere, perhaps I was just also in that okay, I'm ready to relax, I'm on vacation, but everything just felt so, I don't know, there was just an atmosphere to that week that, it's hard to capture, but everybody we encountered, everywhere we went was just reinforced the feeling for us. And I don't know, we were there actually during that terrible heat wave. So it was, we're walking Pompeii, it's like 43 degrees.
Full sun.
We were full sun, forgot our umbrellas. And, but, we didn't even notice. People kept checking up on me. Are you okay? Are you in the middle of a heat wave? And I'm like, yeah, it's hot. But, we're having so much fun and we're seeing so much that it really did not... It did not.
You didn't even feel it.
It didn't negatively affect the holiday. Walking through the Vatican in a million degrees with a million other people was a little bit much, but other than that, we really had an amazing time. So then we went off. We had this great week, and then we went off to Germany to spend 2 weeks with Johannes's family, which is always just so relaxing. They are the nicest, most uncomplicated, generous people. So we just go there, and we are so well looked after for 2 weeks that it's an absolute pleasure. It's a lot of socializing, though. I will say Johannes comes from a pretty large family, and so getting my head back into speaking German and having those conversations or just following conversations is tiring. Like I would fall into bed at night and I'd be like, ooh. And then a lot of togetherness, right? So I had to do that early morning rise to get my sort of quiet, introverted knitting time on. But really, it was a dream holiday.
So next year, what you need to do is a week before on your own, then the family, and then another week after.
Yeah. Although the thing is that then I would still be with my husband and my son.
Yeah, I didn't say how to
by myself. A week with Johannes and Tristan, a week with the family, and then a week off by myself.
Oh, that's like luxury. That's
At least
ideal.
We need a week off on our own.
Totally. I'm for that.
I think that's the ultimate luxury. We should really, I know you're thinking
about
that, but we should really, if it's feasible for you, I think everyone should just go away. We're just coming back, you guys. We had a delivery. But just to say, Lise, that I think we need a solo trip. Everybody should try and fit that in. Even if it's like a week or a weekend at a cottage by yourself, or
I don't know. I don't know.
I like my alone time.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I went away this weekend with a girls group and a women's group, I should say, and we were talking about that. Like some people get re-energized by being with people, and that's how they recharge and can energize and can go back. And some people need to retreat and to energize. And sometimes we think we need to do it the way everyone else does it in our surroundings, but can we really do what's good for us and what we need to
and I
do
think
for us?
too, I mean, because I always think, I get my energy when I'm by myself, and then I can bring that forward to being with people. But then I always find that I also get energized when I'm with people as well. So I really think for me, it's a mix of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And I think that's true. It's like, it's hard to say. It's like whenever you answer questionnaires, are you this, are you that, you're for this or that? It can be all of that. But I think what's important is what you just said. When are the moments that I need it? What do I need in which moment,
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, which sometimes we don't take the time to do.
Yeah.
But in our old age, I just turned 50, so some of you know
Happy
that as well.
birthday.
Yay, just a couple of weeks ago. And finally I caught up to Melissa.
Finally.
I'm in
You
the
can
decade.
stop telling me how much younger
Exactly.
you are than me now. I'm still in my 40s, she's been saying for 6 months.
And I don't know, I'm really into this like 50 age of wisdom, decade of like coming to a new place. And I know so many people commented on my Instagram post about that, of how great it is. And I have to say, I'm feeling much more optimistic about my 50s than my 40s. It was, I don't know, 40s for me were pretty tough, and I'm just ready now to be in this new space. And
I agree. I think it's true for a lot of women that their 50s are really a time where they feel like they come into themselves a little bit and are clear about who they are and what they want and what they're prepared to put up with and what they can eliminate from their lives,
Yeah,
or bring in.
And because there's so much of that, like doing for others and doing what's expected of you, and then family and raising
just
a family
obligations and needs of other people,
and sometimes it's self-imposed as well, right? Not necessarily someone else is telling you,
right.
but what you feel. And so I really am looking forward to this like
next phase.
Yeah, the next phase and the questioning and all that, and which it was interesting because it coincided with my trip to Japan that I went for a month, and it was really an amazing experience. And I always think I've traveled a lot, and I always think my experience of my trip really also depends on what was I doing in my life before, or you said you enjoyed Rome and it was amazing, and maybe going to Rome in another context wouldn't have felt the same, and I just feel this Japan trip coinciding with my turning 50, it was very interesting, and really what I felt was that it really put me in a reflective space. And Japan is actually quite a calm country. It is shocking for the population, and even of Tokyo. Like Tokyo's 37 million people. Tokyo proper and surrounding.
Very
calm.
Nothing's chaotic.
Exactly. It's not chaotic. It's very calm. We came home and Gianluca and I were like, oh my God, the metro's so loud. People are talking so loud. And I'm a loud talker myself, I just like, why are people being so loud, I mean, in 1 month, I think I heard one cell phone go off. So it's, and one car, we heard a car honk once, and the three of us were like, oh my God, what's that? What's going on? So it really, there was just so many opportunities to observe and to contemplate, and I was really into just looking at textures, and I took so many pictures. I'm like, everywhere I looked was just like a picture wanting to be taken and then reflected upon. So it was really very meaningful for me, and actually to your point, Melissa, about traveling alone, that I decided that I'm going to go back alone, and I really want to just spend time. And it's a long time I've been talking about taking a trip alone, and I think I found my place.
I've never heard you mention that before.
I haven't talked about it. It's in my head.
Okay.
It's been in my head. But it was always like, can I actually do it? Even though my family has no issue with that, I myself, can I give myself permission to do that? Leave the business, leave my family and everything. So it's decided I'm going to go next fall. And for my birthday, Sean actually has been accumulating his air miles forever. And he gave me all his points to fly business class to Japan. I'm like, I don't think I can have more luxury or decadence. So,
how fantastic.
So he printed out his sheet, and he said,
that was your 50th birthday
That was
present?
my 50th birthday present. So when I saw it, and then I saw business class, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that. What a luxury. So there you go.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, so more money to spend on stationery.
This time you'll take a big bag.
Yeah.
A big suitcase.
So anyway, so I'm coming back in a very zen place. It's like Melissa and I were talking about, like, okay, you know, we hit the ground running. We have all these projects. I'm like, oh, it's very interesting to think that I'm in such a zen place.
But I think what you came back with was a different energy. I think that you have, you know, up until recently, you have felt more stressed about all the things that are going on in your life. So because things haven't really changed.
No.
The same things are happening.
Yeah.
Same things need to get done, but your attitude towards them has changed. And I think
that's a good thing.
That's good for your mental health.
It's very good. And Gianluca started high school, which is fantastic, and it's going super well. And I'm moving on, so that's good.
Exactly. Lots of transitions this year.
Yeah. So that's where that's what we're coming from.
Yeah.
And we're heading into our busy fall season.
Yes, and it's so exciting. We have so many beautiful new products and yarns in store. This is going to be an episode where we're just showing you a lot of stuff.
Exactly. Right? But before that, we wanted to mention our little trips. We're going
upcoming trips?
Yeah, we're going to Knit City in Vancouver, which is a first
this is our
for
first
us.
time going to Knit City. And when is that, Lisa? October 3rd?
It's in October. Yes, like first weekend of October, I think, before Thanksgiving.
So we've heard so much about this show. We're so thrilled to be able to get out there to experience it because Knit City is actually coming to Montreal in March. So, you know, we're going to get a little taste of what it's all about so that we can be part of that whole experience here next year. So
that's the first one. And then we have Rhinebeck, of course, which is end of October, I guess, or third week or something.
The 18th or something like that?
Yeah, so it's coming up too. So that's always fun. And we're a little more seasoned now. I don't know if I think this is our third year that we're going together.
I think it's my fourth. Third year together, exactly. And so now we know what to expect. Yeah. We'll be at India Entangled because we're sponsoring that event this year. So we will be there, and we will be including little goodies in the VIP bag again. Are they VIP bags, or are they just bags you get when you buy? Does everybody get one?
I think everyone
must
gets
get one. Anyone who buys a ticket, I think, gets one. So
you think? Yeah, I think so.
Well, we have to supply 450 things, Lisa.
Oh, yeah. It must be everybody.
Must be everybody.
You know us,
right?
we kind of know stuff, but there's stuff that we're just like, whatever, you know.
We'll sponsor, sure.
Whatever it is.
So, so we've been preparing for that.
And it's fun to, who's our staff? We have lots of our staff going down to Rhinebeck
Actually, that's a first.
Yeah.
We've run into one or two of our staff who've sort of made their way on their own, but this year, I think 5 or 6 of them have rented a house together, and they're all driving down, and so we will spend a lot of our time with them down there as well. So we're looking forward to that.
And I think our next podcast, we're planning to film a little pre-Rhinebeck thing with some of our staff too.
Yeah, we'll record one at the end of September with everybody. And then we thought, I don't know if everyone's on board with it yet, but we thought maybe we could have an Espace Tricot meetup on, because so many of our staff are actually designers in their own right. That many
hand dyers
that you would know, hand dyers, and so we thought it would be fun to maybe have an Espace Tricot meetup with our staff. So we thought we would have that episode of our podcast where they're all present. We'll talk, and then maybe they'll be more recognizable when we get to Rhinebeck as well.
Because so many people are just continuously commenting about how great our staff is, and we always say this, but that's the only reason we're able to do these podcasts and travel, because our staff is great. Like, to think Melissa and I went away at the same time, so we both went I stayed an extra week, and Françoise too, because Françoise was in Japan with us for the first week, and then we split up, so here we are, Françoise, Melissa, and I, all away for 3 weeks at the same time, and are like,
no one skipped a beat.
No one skipped a beat. There were no issues. There were like 4 little messages when we came back, which were just to update us on stuff. It was quite fantastic to see that it could just run. So we're really grateful to them, and so we're going to be happy to introduce more of them to you.
And actually, so I lost my train of thought there for a second, but you reminded me. One of the biggest pieces of feedback we got at the end of our last episode, when we asked people to let us know what they wanted to see and have us do on our podcast going forward, coming back into the fall, was really to feature more local makers as well as more of our staff members, so that they could get to know them a little bit more as well. So I think that's a good way to get that off
definitely.
the ground.
And the only reason we don't do it on a regular basis is because us, we just can't get our act together enough to organize it.
night before.
And then sometimes we cancel the podcast the night
fact
before.
that we have something on the books scheduled for the end of September with them is,
you know
guys,
why?
It's huge.
It's because we put one of our staff members on the dossier. Was it Stephanie?
We're getting really good at delegating.
Yeah, we're like, okay, Stephanie, can you make this happen? Because if you don't, and then like the next day she like sends out the invitations. We're like, oh my God, we got to do
it's
it.
really happening now.
So anyways,
fun.
yeah, and there's some new changes, exciting changes with our staff too. So we have, I guess we'll talk about that in our next podcast.
Oh yeah, let's wait and maybe we'll do that when everyone's there.
So that's really fun for us. So that's great stuff. And I guess our biggest thing is that we're expanding.
I was like, what is our biggest thing, Lisa? I have to look at her notes.
And it's funny because as I'm thinking that, I'm like, it's so funny. It's like a big thing, but we're still not 100% sure about what it is.
Well, it's not because it has not come to fruition yet. It is in process.
But it's going to happen because, we've already rented a space. So we're expanding. We're creating another space called L'Atelier, and which means workshop. And it's the L'Atelier for Espace Tricot. And as some of you might know, we had a smaller space when we first opened, which is just across the landing from where we are now. It's there because it's on that side.
Right there.
And then under there, so it's a space of about 500 square feet, and underneath that space became available. There was a hairdresser there, and they've retired. So we've actually taken the space, and
just in the process of renovating it. It's a bit of a slow process trying to find contractors at this time of the year.
And a very short notice.
So I think we took over the space August 1st, and we wanted to open around September 1st. It is now September 7th, and we are waiting for our flooring people to come in. So I think. Well,
October.
no, we won't put a date on it.
No.
Like I would say mid-September, end of October.
That's like next week.
I know. Oh yeah. What
probably
October 1st.
Yeah. I think in our head we're kind of aiming for that.
Yeah.
Because we are paying rent on the space, so we want to open that up. And so what's really been amazing about this process with us is that we took the space with kind of an idea without it being concrete. But
just some preliminary thoughts about what we could use that space for, but nothing concrete, as you say.
And we've flip-flopped 3 times majorly in terms of what we wanted to do with that space. And I think last week we sort of came to a better kind of more concrete form of it. And so it's been really amazing to allow it to evolve and to develop, and for us to really just not jump into something. Because with us, it only ever works if it's solid in our gut. And so we say something, we're like, oh yeah, that's good. And then we talk about it. And then like a couple of days later, one of us might come back and go, oh, not quite sure. I was thinking that, oh yeah. And then we go there and we're like, oh, and then we've actually come back to our original idea.
Yeah. But original but modified.
Yes.
Softened.
Yes. Softened. I love that.
Softened, more well-rounded, more
in line with our values.
Yes, I would say that. And trying to keep the spaces really as inclusive as possible.
Yeah.
And really what it's going to be, I don't know if you said, Lisa, it's going to be sort of a community space where we're going to host events, we're going to have activities, we're going to have lecture series, we're going to have all kinds of things.
Makers.
Some of these, having all kinds of local makers as well as teachers from outside of Montreal coming to spend time with us, pop-up shops. A lot of the things will be free. Some of them will be, paid entry, but there will be a good variety of both. And we're talking about it like this, but we're actually really excited because I think that's been the biggest limit in the space that we have. We have a huge amount of inventory in 1,000 square feet with no basement and no back store and no office. And so just having hosting events and people has always been a bit of a challenge here. So having this dedicated space just to that will be amazing.
Yeah, it's not about having more product or like opening up another location. It's really about evolving. And I think a lot of our thoughts came from the idea that, through YouTube and Instagram, we've created this online community that we connect with. And then we have the fortune of seeing some of you at retreats or workshops or at festivals. But then in Montreal itself, we hosted an industry knit night a couple of months ago now, and we just realized that there's so much talent here in our city that we love to share and bring everybody together. So we've created this online community, but now we want to get back to the roots of when we opened our store and we had a local community, and we also wanted
which isn't to say that we don't have a local community. I mean, we have but we don't have a place where we can host them in that way.
And have an exchange and so that's why we felt that we wanted to bring that to our store. And also when people visit us, people come to visit us
where they can make it more of a
destination, an experience, rather than just, okay, I'm coming to shop, but there's something else, and maybe
there's an event going on that day. Maybe they just want to go and have a coffee and sit in a nice sofa
and knit and so there's all of that brought us to this idea that we wanted to enlarge the community and kind of bridge the online and the physical, and and then we were talking about, okay, now that if we're going to have that physical community, then can we bring that also to the online? So we're really working with trying to bring it all together. So
the idea too, as you say, I like that sort of reflection about bringing the local then again to the online community, because the plan is to have so many people visiting and not necessarily filming teachers, for example, but if we have a lecture series that we have once a week or twice a month or something like that, to be filming those and making those available online as well.
So there's part of our... and that's why we, a lot of our staff are contributing to the growth of that and helping us with various aspects of it. So it's, Melissa and I are always finding like, okay, once we've kind of, once the store was really settled, then we went online, and then once we worked out all the kinks and it was settled, then we started the podcast, and now we're like, okay, so where's the next thing? Where are we going and evolving to? And
it
so
seems like it's a space.
It seems like that's what it is. So that's very. It's exciting, but I'm really proud of us and how we're not rushing. We're really taking our time. So it's an extra month's rent, but it's going to be better. We're going to be better for it.
Exactly.
So we'll keep you posted when that happens.
Yeah,
and it should be soon.
So I think that's all of the catching you up.
Yeah, with what's been going on with us. And so what are you wearing, Madame?
So I'm wearing my Missoni Accomplished. This is a second version. I think I posted a picture of me wearing this before our holidays, right? So this is actually a version of the Missoni Accomplished that Mona knit for us, and it was in the Alpaca Classic, which I did not grab a ball of. But
you have the kit?
Yeah, I have a kit. So I wore it because I just wanted to let you guys know that we do have kits for this in stock. So the original version I knit was with the Lichen and Lace Rustic Heather Sport, which is, it is a rustic yarn. It's not for everybody. I love the texture of it, and it gave this an entirely different look. This version is I don't know, it's fluffy, it's light, it's very warm as well. And it is, I can't remember the, I'm going to open one of these laces. The composition. I know it's alpaca cotton. I think it's alpaca and cotton. Yes, 57% alpaca, 43% cotton. And we've made kits in the pink and white colorway and the gray and white. So it's gray like the original, but in the Alpaca Classic from Rowan instead of the Rustic Heather Sport.
Do you have two versions? Did you just say that? You have two versions?
Yes, we have the kits in the pink and white and gray and white. Okay. So that's it.
And I am wearing a sweater that I finally finished. So I'm just gonna go up a little close so you can see the texture of the yoke. And this, what I found very interesting is I realized that I have a lot of trouble wearing a colorwork sweater. It's too out there for me. So I'm like, oh, I like this subtle, there's like a texture.
Like a textured yoke.
Yeah, there's stuff happening, but you can't see. I am wearing the Mio sweater by Paula Pereira, and it's quite funny because when this Amirisu book came out, right away, there's not many sweaters that I'm enticed to knit for myself. And when I saw this, I don't know if it was the sweater or the way it was probably everything, right? The energy, the way it was photographed. I'm like, oh, look at her. She's so contemplative and so beautiful.
Just the whole thing attracted you.
And it's just really over a sweater, over a dress or a skirt, and it's all loose. So I jumped on that bandwagon, and I decided that I wanted to respect, I like a subtle speckle. And then lo and behold, the pattern was done in Juliette Fino in the original yarn.
Exactly this color.
No, a different color.
Oh,
it was
really?
Something to keep. I keep forgetting what it was, but it wasn't this color.
Okay.
But at first I thought it was, but when you look at it, there's a little bit more reddish tones in it.
Okay.
So I decided to do fleur pressée, and And the funny thing is that I go to Japan and I go to Kyoto, and Françoise and I went to Walnut, which is the yarn store in Japan that is associated with Amirisu, and there was the Mio sweater on the mannequin from the cover. I'm like, oh my God.
So they have all the samples there.
Yeah, they have all the samples from the Amirisu. So I just thought, I don't know, there was something in the energy that was all meant to be. So I knit this throughout my trip, and what I really liked is I did the pattern calls for tubular cast on and bind off. So I just did a regular cast on, but I did the tubular bind offs, and usually I just ignore that and do my regular one.
Yeah.
But there was something about the finish of the sweater and the tubular. I just find it's not as precise, like it doesn't cut, because the thing with the tubular cast off is it kind of continues the ribbing, and there was something about that I wanted.
And then when you have the 1x1, it does flare a tiny
bit,
right?
Exactly. So it flares. I don't know if I don't know if I can show this. So it flares a little bit, and that's why I tend to not do it. But there was something about that finish for me that created a little bit of an uneven edge, which I kind of pictured over this flowing skirt.
That it worked,
that it felt right. And, the flight to Japan is 12 hours. I thought, I'm going to get way advanced on this. I think it took me half the flight just to do the tubular bind off. Because I had to do it and redo
that's commitment, Lise.
Oh my God, it just about killed me, But I was on the plane. I said I'm going to do it. So
So you were finished the body by the time you landed in Japan, and you just had your sleeves to work.
I just had, exactly. Okay. And I didn't finish it in Japan because I was just so enamored. I had said that in one of my posts.
You didn't have time to knit.
It was just, I wanted to look. Yeah. I was just in awe of the aesthetics and the beauty that I didn't want to be looking at my
looking down at your knitting. Exactly.
So I came home and I sucked it up and I finished it, and I'm so happy, and it's been lovely. Paula has been really responding to my posts about the sweater, and her enthusiasm has been wonderful. So I love this sweater. It's the perfect sweater. It's a shorter sweater. And so it's hard because I have black pants on, but I really wanted it to wear with jeans and just above my belt. So
and dress. You've worn it over dresses.
Yeah, I wore
exactly.
I wore it over a linen dress, and it's exactly
easy
my
wear,
style.
Good
Easy
shape.
wear, good shape. I wanted it a little more fitted. I like the close up of the neck.
Yeah.
Everything about it is just really me. I think she really designed it for me.
You.
She totally challenged me. Channeled me. So I'm really grateful for this wonderful design.
It looks really good.
Thank
you.
Great. Yeah. And thanks so much to Paula for encouraging me with all her comments along the way, and for Julie with all her little kisses and high fives. It's the first time I've knit a sweater in the Fino, so that's really lovely.
Oh yeah, because you've knit a few shawls, I think.
Yeah, a few shawls, but never a sweater, and it's a blend of merino, cashmere, and silk. So really lovely, and I have nothing underneath. I don't have a t-shirt or anything. It just feels lovely.
Super soft
against the skin. So that is wonderful. That's what I'm wearing.
Okay,
and then...
your new pattern, Lise.
Oh, yes. Do you still want me to talk?
What do you mean? Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay.
I'm relaxing.
So this is, I started this a long time ago. I don't even remember now, but the reason I didn't bring this one
You
up...
can just look back in our podcast, because I think you had shown just the beginning of it.
So I didn't bring this on the trip because it was a little bit heavy, and I knew I was gonna, it was bigger, and I knew I would probably finish it on the trip, so I wanted something to last a little longer. So I never showed the end because I didn't quite get to the end. So this is how I ended up finishing it. So the way I spoke about it, you can see the rib, it just kind of steps down. It gets narrower and narrower. And then I reached the desired length that I wanted, so I stopped the ribbing there, and then I did a rib border. So it was a fun pattern to create. It was really as we do, design as you go. I think we did this last time, where we, so this is how it starts in a complete rib, and then as you go down, it kind of, the rib gets smaller, and then stockinette.
And you're still increasing on the body.
Yes, I'm still increasing on the body. So now it goes, and it gets wider, and it goes into this lovely shawl.
And ends with the rib.
Yeah, and I've kept a rib border as well on this side. I don't know if you can see that. So this, and so I did this in the Juniper Moon Fiber Pollock, and I don't know, I just kind of like this idea that it starts narrow, and I'm playing with shapes. I guess that's what's interesting,
Yeah, I was taking photographs of it this morning, and it was really fun to play with in terms of tying it different ways. Yeah, just because it has that.
It has like a narrow edge. Yeah. So I think that's sort of not a mission, but a challenge I've kind of how do you say, kind of done without realizing is designing shawls in different shapes. So, I had my...
So you're working your way through all of them.
Yeah, I've done a triangle, I've done an offset triangle, I've done a parallelogram. I haven't done a half moon yet, so maybe that's one too. With Vera, we took that shawl shape workshop, which was very inspiring, but you need time to play around with everything. So I decided that I'm going to call this shawl On the Rails because I'm always about travel. Everything I do seems to be about travel. So it just it's like I feel like it's train, like there's movement and these are train tracks. So I thought I'm going to call this On the Rails. So it's been photographed. The pattern is been written, and I just need. I've asked Catherine, one of our staff members, just to go over it and looking at the shawl to make sure it makes sense, and then I'll send it off to tech editing. So it's still going to be a few weeks before I get it published. However, and it is a summer, and that was another thing, right? Because it's sort of the end of the summer here. But you know what? It's summer somewhere.
Yeah.
So
it's summer somewhere.
It's summer.
And people go away to warm locations in the winter as well.
And also, you don't have to do it in a summer yarn.
No.
You can do it in any yarn you want.
There are so many beautiful. So what's the gauge? 24?
So the gauge I think is 24. So you can use, this is a sport weight, sport to DK, this summer one, but you can definitely use a fingering. So
you know what it would be nice in, Lise? We'll talk about this. The wool loco.
The wool loco. That would be beautiful. So I would do it if I were to do it again in a wool, I would do a fingering one because wool blooms and takes space. So at a 24 stitch gauge, that's acceptable. So for those of you who like the summer, I just pulled 3 random colors of the Pollock, then Juniper Moon Pollock. And what I like about it is that there's a little bit of variation and a little bit of a kind of a kink in the yarn. Yeah.
Yeah, there's texture to the yarn and then there's...
It's not flat. So it's kind of nice in a summer yarn where you have a bit of texture and then a bit of that color.
Beautiful.
So that was
you talked about the composition of it?
No, I did not.
Just because it has that linen.
Yes, it's a linen. Let me just make sure so it's a blend of linen and silk, 55% silk and 45% linen. But it's not a shiny silk. It's more of like a rougher silk, not like a smooth.
Yeah, it's not a, what do they call that?
I know, I'm saying wet spun, but that's not true.
Yeah, it's like, it's not a wet spun. It's not like Euroflax.
No.
Which is like a wet.
Yeah, for the linen, exactly. Yeah. It's a little more of a rusticy feeling, and then the silk is sort of in the same vein, more like a raw silk rather than a shiny silk.
Yes, exactly.
So, the texture is nice because there's a nice weight to it. And so even like for like the fall and the spring, it feels really good. This yarn. So
it's a good transition piece.
Yeah, and we're gonna create kits with this colorway that we used. But as Melissa said, the wool loco might be good, and we're also gonna talk about this yarn right later on, Illimani Sabri, which is a cotton alpaca blend, which would be like we're dying to knit with this.
We're dying to knit with this.
I think this would be spectacular in this one. So again, it's cotton, but you've got a little bit of that alpaca.
Hold it up, please. Or are you gonna? We'll talk about it later, or
I guess there's no point. We could talk about it now. So just to show you, I guess we'll talk about it a bit more thoroughly later. So that's my new pattern on the rails coming to you in a few weeks. Okay, Melissa, you're up.
Oh, you're not doing the next one?
Well, no, you got to
I'm going by your
Are you trying to take a break? Like, what's going on?
I'm like watching your podcast. It's great.
Look at me. Here I am.
So this is my new pattern. Oh, I don't have an open version of the... a very, very simple pattern, you guys. It's called Bonjour Hi, and I just wanted to design, I call it sort of a baby sister to the Getting Warmer cowl. So the Getting Warmer cowl is very much this shape, but it's done with the Woolfolk Luft in sort of a chunky, bulky weight yarn, and I wanted to do something with our new gray space. So, and of course combining it with mohair. And so what's nice about this cowl slash shoulder warmer is that you can knit all 4 sizes, and it's from extra small to very generously sized version with 1 skein of the Grace and 2 balls of the Isair mohair in there. So we just got our latest shipment or delivery of the Gray Space in stock yesterday. It's been entered, so this will be available in kits. And we made the kits only in this color. However, we've got loads of Grace in stock,
right.
as well as loads of the Isay or mohair in stock as well. It's a silk mohair blend.
And there's so many mohairs. I mean,
Yes,
you guys know you
exactly.
can combine any fingering with the mohair. And that
Exactly.
would be
So it's
lovely.
very simple. It started at the top, and you're just doing increases as you come down, and it you don't even do ribbing when you start. I just like that feeling of a kind of a just a waterfall neck, or I don't even know what they call it, but just very not clingy,
I
but
think
still.
you've coined a new term, Melissa.
Is it?
I like that waterfall neck. Oh, there's the funnel neck, there's the turtleneck, the
It is
mock
a funnel
neck.
slash
It is
waterfall.
the waterfall. You heard it first. I love it.
And it's just, I mean, I increased it like I was starting a yoked sweater, and then just ended
Look
it
at that.
before I separated for sleeves.
No sleeves, no sleeves.
And a very simple ribbing to finish, and that's it.
And you can,
easy
also you could
peasy,
wear it like
and then,
this.
Yeah, so you want to put on your
coat,
and
your
then
sweater.
just flip it up.
And then you get to wherever you want, and you need a little cozy. And it's nice to have a lighter version of the getting
Perfect
warmer.
for air conditioning in indoors, and then just a nice shoulder.
And if you're not a mohair person, you don't have to do it with the mohair, and you can also do it in a summer yarn if you want something a little lighter,
Exactly.
like a linen, like the pollock actually.
And the gauge is 18, I believe.
Okay.
So, a DK weight would work
Yeah,
as well.
that would be fantastic. So just a little nod, the color of this Grace colorway is called Bonjour High, which is a nod to the bilingualism we have here in Montreal, and a beautiful campaign where they encourage retailers to greet customers with Bonjour High, which we've always done before the campaign came about.
So we just thought this was a great friendly color in our Grace space, so we called it Bonjour High, and then I thought, that seems like a good name for the.
You know why?
For
Because this color looks good
as
on
well.
everybody.
It does.
It does.
I
So
think
it's
so. This
open
is
to
the-
everybody. Bonjour.
It's like our living coral, our version of living coral for the year. So kits are in the web store.
Okay. So you have another one, I think, Liz. Why don't you go again with the next one? You got way
okay.
more than me.
All right. So this one is going to be another week or two as well. No, probably another couple of weeks. I'm still working out the last of the pattern details with the tech editor, but this is the I'm referring to it as the tie sweater because it's got a tie and I don't have a name for it. I think you guys have seen this in various states of progress.
Yeah.
And it's finished. I love it. Mona's tested it for me in a different size, and it worked out great. So this is also with our lichen and lace. Lichen and lace marsh mohair combined with our Grace base, and I think it was 2 skeins of Grace. The details will be in the pattern. I don't remember. This seems like such a long time ago already.
It was, my dear.
Anyway, so this will be available in a couple of weeks, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it when it's available. But
again, it's a t-shirt, so
it's a t-shirt.
You can do it in a summer yarn as well. You can do it in any other wool, and how I see this too in the winter is with like a long sleeve t-shirt.
Just a long sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah,
exactly.
it would look fantastic.
Yeah. So it's I've tried it on that way. I've tried it on just with a tank, like a longer tunic underneath.
And what's nice is this I-cord that you've done, Melissa, around the sleeves.
Yeah, so
And then
actually
at the
this was
bottom.
fun to design. So I have I-cord around the neck, around the sleeves, and then
and-
all the way around the bottom as well as around the tie.
So
So
while I'm playing with different shawl shapes, Melissa's playing
just
with all
having
the
fun
different
with the
sweater
sweaters.
shapes.
Yeah.
So we've actually have a collaboration, and it's a collaboration that I instigated with Kirsten Kapoor, who was one of the first designers that we knit when we opened our store. So she was really on our radar, and then we met her at Vogue. Or Rhinebeck. Yeah, Vogue. We met her at Vogue.
in January.
In January in New York.
A few times over the years, but we actually sat down and had drinks with her this time.
And we actually talked to her and got to know her, and I was like, oh my god, like fangirling that we actually got to meet her and have a nice discussion. And so this is it's hard to show on the sweater, so it keeps falling because there's not a human body. So this is a sweater that I had seen something similar like in a vintage shop, just a machine sweater. And I always thought it was just such a beautiful sweater. And when we were chatting with Kirsten and after our collaboration with Diana, like, oh, it'd be so much fun if we could collaborate. We just loved her energy and her vibe.
And you had a picture
I had
of
a
the sweater
picture of
today.
the sweater. And so I was like, oh, what do you think about this one? And she's like, oh, I really love that. Yeah, I'd love to take a look and take my stab on how I can how I can be inspired by that. And so she knit this super cute sweater. It's like, again, totally my style. It's like a little.
You'll have to wear it on the next podcast.
I definitely will, because this is the sample that Kirsten knit, and Mona's making one in yellow for me. So she's I'll have that for the next podcast. So I love this. Like, I even have the worm hat that I love that has the when you fold the turnover, so you have this cuff, but it's subtle. I'm into these kind of subtle things. So there's that, and then it's also at the bottom. And then this is a bit of a brioche stitch.
You like things that are like really well finished.
Yeah,
they're just clean and
tailored and sort of, it's there, but it's not there, you know?
Yeah.
So I just love this sweater, and I can't wait to get the one that
And it's a great little introduction to brioche, I think.
Yes.
Because it's one color brioche, and it's just a small section of it.
Yeah.
And then you're on to straightaway, really.
Straightaway, exactly. And then you just have the hem at the bottom. So this is... we've done the pattern. Kirsten's done the pattern for us. It's gone to tech editing. Melissa's taken the photos.
We've gone through a million name options.
And we're really trying to do a Montreal-New York connection, a name that makes sense for this collaboration.
Because Kirsten lives in New York.
Yeah,
so it'd be nice to combine the two.
So that's the only thing that's missing for us to publish the pattern. So we got to do that in the next few days.
As soon as Lisa comes up with a name, it will be released.
Such pressure,
We thought we had one.
Yes.
And we sent it to Kirsten last week,
Yeah.
and she approved, or 2 weeks ago, or whatever. But as of this morning, a pattern has just been released by another local designer by the exact same name.
So we're like,
we thought, that might not be nice.
Yeah, let's do something different.
Yeah.
So back to the drawing board for that. And I forgot to mention, it's in Garthenor Beacons.
Yes.
So it was really nice too when we contacted Johnny. He provided the yarn support from Garthenor, because we said, we're gonna design this sweater. So he was really happy to help us out with that. And it's going to be a paid pattern. So all of our collaborations we do are paid. We honor the designers, the real designers in this. So
that's it. Yeah, perfect. Great.
So that's mine. And well, I say mine, but it's not really my finished object.
It's
my finished idea.
It's your finished idea. Okay, so I have another finished object in my love note. So this is a pattern by Tin Can Knits, originally knit with the La Bien-Aimée yarns. I guess it was a bit of a collaboration between, look, you can't see
I was just going to say, what if I put my hand behind the...
There, I think if I line up the holes, you can see. See, they make little hearts. Did you notice that, Lise?
Yeah, well, that's why I assumed it was called Love Note.
Yeah, so I was slow to pick up on that. So anyway, this is originally designed by, I think it's Alexa, or maybe it's just both Tin Can Knits. I think it's just published under Tin Can Knits. And it was originally knit, as I said, with the La Bien-Aimée yarns of one of their, I guess they're single ply fingering with a mohair. And it was so beautiful, and it came out at the beginning of the summer. And I decided to take some of our Grace base. I'm just trying to get a good angle here so you guys can see the lace texture at the top.
Yeah, it's Tin Can Knits.
It is Tin Can Knits, right?
And it was done La Bien-Aimée Merino singles and the mohair silk.
Okay, and that came out in May. And so I grabbed some of the black Isayer mohair. I think I knit with this one, the silk mohair, along with a couple of skeins of our Grace, and cast it on while I was on my trip. I don't remember if I was in, I think I might have been in Rome. And then finished it when I came back. I knit a little bit on it in Germany, and then I changed the pattern a little bit in that it's a little bit shorter in the original, and there's a high-low hem. I decided to just do it straight all the way down to the length that I like, and then I made also the sleeves much longer. I knit them straight and then just decreased the stitches, I think by half. Before I started the ribbing for the cuff. In any case, all of my details are all on Ravelry for my version for this, if you like the shape of this one. Anyway, lovely pattern. As always, Tin Can Knits patterns are an absolute pleasure to knit from. There's never any question about where you are or what you're supposed to do next. And as I always say, there's always the right amount of information and never anything extra.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. That's how a pattern should be.
Yeah. So that's that.
You got another sweater?
Yes. My super simple summer sweater.
So many sweaters that you're forgetting. They were a long time ago as well.
Do you want to show the Mungo, Lise?
Yes.
So this one's by Joji Locatelli, and Joji came out with this pattern, I think like in June or July.
Yeah, it was super this summer.
This summer.
Yeah.
And it was with the Retrosaria Pomar Mungo yarn, which is a blend of 50-50 wool and cotton. I think it's recycled cotton. And I love the texture of this yarn. I could tell I liked the texture of this yarn just from the pictures of Hohi's sweater, just from the pictures of the yarn, actually.
What's nice is, sometimes cotton can be floppy, but this has such a nice structure with the wool.
Structure. There's the little logo. I love the illustrations on the...
Mungo is a recycled wool and cotton yarn. It is entirely spun from pre-consumer waste generated by Portuguese spinning mills. The wool used in this yarn is sourced in Portugal and or Spain. So that's great. Yeah, you really feel such a nice structure there.
It does. So I decided I wanted to have a super simple summer sweater just like Hohi's, and I have to admit that I didn't really look at the sizing of the sweater that closely. I just saw what Hohi knit for herself and assumed that I would just knit the size up from that. And as it turns out, there's a lot of positive ease built into this sweater, so it does fit me a little bigger than I'd like and a little longer than I'd like. So while I love the sweater and I'll totally wear it, I think if I do it again, I would knit the I think Hohi knit the size 2, and I'm a 37-inch bust, so I think that would be more than fine. And because what happens is, because you have a set number of rows that you need to do per section, when I saw that it was turning out a little bit longer than I wanted, I couldn't really make any changes to the length without altering the width of the stripes. So I was kind of committed, and I just finished it. And like I said, I love it. Another gorgeous, beautifully written pattern from Hohi, as they always are, and the yarn is lovely. So I do want to cast on another one. I love this. I wore it the other day, and it's so comfortable, and and it was a joy to knit. And it is 17.5 stitch gauge. I think
that's what you like.
It makes a nice quick sweater. Exactly. So highly recommend. We're sold out of. I think we're sold out of both of these colors right now, but we have a big order coming in September. So we're good. That will be back in stock.
We are good for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's up next? Some store. Oh, you know what I forgot to put on here, Melissa?
Yeah.
I forgot to put our or is that our works in progress? Oh my God, all the way down there.
Yeah.
So should we? I guess we can quickly go through some store samples.
What do you guys want to see next? Store samples or whips?
Okay, well we have 4, so we can go through those quickly.
Whip. I don't know about you.
I think I have 2.
Okay.
Heart warmer. So the heart warmer by Justina Lorkowska, and we did this in the wool pattern. Melissa and I were just saying that it's such a pretty piece to look at.
Everything about it.
It's just so pretty, all those different textures, and then the fun thing about knitting this is, how you change sections, and so you.
And I love that it's all done with one color, so it's all all about the texture.
Yeah.
Who did this for
I think it's Chloe. Is it Chloe?
No.
Catherine?
No.
Naomi?
No.
Sasha?
Was it Emily who left?
Oh, was it Emily?
I'm sorry.
Oh
whoever
my
knit
goodness.
This for us.
It could have been Emily. Well, we can't even, we could ask her by internet, but she's gone off to study in England. So I think it's her. For some reason, I thought it was Chloe. Anyways, one of our lovely staff members knit this for us.
So it's knit in Wool Local.
Beautiful.
Now, if you've seen Justina Lorkowska's version online, she uses a beautifully vibrant yellow version, I think, of Martin's Lab yarn. I think Martin is her husband, who has a yarn dyeing company, and I believe she used his yarn. I'm not 100% sure, but it will stop you in your tracks, this cowl, when you see it. We got this yarn in and just thought, we wanted to see sort of how a rustic version would look. So we opted to use the blend of Blueface Leicester and Massam, which is Wool Local from Erica Knight, and we had a variety of colors available. I think we're sold out of the pink version. That's pretty, right?
Yes,
and
beautiful.
Is it with Martin's Lab?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Tibetan singles.
Can we show that on the? So pretty. I'm waiting for a reaction.
I know you're talking to the camera today. There are people behind the camera, but they unfortunately can't respond right at this moment.
That's the drawback about it.
Have you been watching live stream vlogs or something where there's all the interaction?
Nothing.
But
anyway, so that was it.
I think just as a little side, it's kind of interesting what's going on here.
Really? Are we going to move to live podcast?
Oh my God! Just kill us in our tracks. I
don't think we have the nerve for that.
I don't think so. But so the wool loco is a lovely yarn. We've placed another order, I believe.
Yeah, we've had 2 or 3 deliveries so far.
It's nice. What we love is when a yarn line doesn't have too many colors.
We just take all of them.
Take all the colors. Okay, so we have that, and now Jocelyn knit this one for herself.
But she's letting us keep it.
So this
what happened the other day, Lise? Did you see her email?
No.
So Jocelyn dropped this off at the store, and I wanted to take it to photograph it so that we could post it to Instagram. But it took me a little longer to get around to photographing it. Sometimes the samples pile up at my house for a while. So twice she came to the store and didn't see it, but didn't ask anybody. And so she sent an email saying, "Has it been stolen?" And nobody wants to tell me. Like, oh my God, no, it's at my house. Anyway, it's beautiful. This is a pattern by Jennifer Steingas called Garden Gate. I think she has a knit along going on for the Garden Gate right now, or did recently in any case. It's one of her more recent patterns, and it's just beautiful. And Jocelyn knit it with our newly delivered over the summer Hillesvåg Tinde.
So I'll show you some Tinde colors. I just have...
This is a Norwegian yarn.
So this is 100% Norwegian wool, and it is in a DK weight, and it is a rustic yarn. It is like a full-fledged Norwegian.
The wind is not going through this
Exactly.
sweater.
The wind is going to stop.
Right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
The wind stops here. And it's beautiful. So this is really like a nice, if you want something that's like really nice and hearty, and
it's going to keep you warm. It's going to keep the water off.
Yes.
It's,
keep you dry. That's the one to go for.
Yes, exactly. So, I love it. I would like to see it. I'm not sure what the gauge of this sweater is, but
I did it right here. It's called Garden. Is
Garden
it one
Gate?
Word, Garden Gate?
I think so.
Okay. You know, with Ravelry, you have to be very
I would love
precise.
to see what this would be like. What I like about the Tinde yarn is it is made with the fiber of the Pelzel sheep, which has kind of a longer staple. And so that's it there, yeah. And so, me and my halo, you guys. This yarn has a beautiful halo. I don't know if the camera can pick up on it.
Yeah, without mohair.
Without the mohair. And I just feel this would make a beautiful wrap or shawl, or at a looser gauge too.
I mean, I really see that as you're outside and there's a fire and there's even like a little mist in the air, and that shawl is just going to protect you. Yeah. The original pattern was done in a blend of wool and linen, so it's interesting. So it still has a bit of that hairiness,
Okay, yeah.
And what I just wanted to mention, like, I find this pattern, it's like, it reminds me a little bit of stained glass or something that's really...
Or like a garden gate?
Yeah, exactly. A garden gate, or like a kind of an ancient and more of an older kind of...
Yeah, like wrought iron fence.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. It's a little bit different, a little bit.
I like it. I like the way she has the points.
Rather than nature, because so many times there's nature-inspired ones that have been catching my eye lately.
Yeah,
but
like
this
the
has
leaves
but this is sort of like a man-made, like something like a window, a gate, stained glass. So that's kind of fun.
Good observation.
Yeah, I'm all about the observing the subtle aesthetic now. So that's another one, and then I think we have 2 more. So we have your turtle dove that was done in a different yarn.
Yes. Okay. This one, okay, so you guys know the turtle dove maybe? So turtle dove we designed last year in the Woolfolk Luft yarn, and the Luft is a blend of cotton and ultimate merino. It's very light, but it's a slightly chunkier yarn than this one. And it's also a pricey yarn because it is a luxury yarn. It's expensive to make, and therefore expensive for us to sell. So we wanted to have an alternative option in the store, and we asked Emilia to knit this sample for us. This is knit with Drops Air, and I can't remember what the sort of the cost differential is, but it makes it a much more
substantial.
It's a much more affordable sweater. The only thing is that the Drops Air is a slightly smaller gauge than the Luft, and so as a result, this is knit at a 16 stitch gauge instead of a 14 stitch gauge. And what Emilia did was she knit the large size and got the medium size version of the sweater. So I think what we're going to do is rewrite the turtle dove pattern at a 16 stitch gauge, so that if you have other yarn options that you'd like to use, or if you'd like to use Drops Air for your version of the Turtle Dove, then that is something that you can do without having to do too much math. So we're just in the process of doing that. However, if you know that you need the medium size, you can go ahead and follow the large at a 16 stitch gauge, and that's what you will get.
And I love this yarn. It's like the Luft. It's very light and airy. I made a blanket out of this, and it's amazing.
It's just one of those. It's one of those sort of yarns where the fiber is sort of blown into a tube.
Drops Air. It's an alpaca nylon wool blend.
Okay.
So that's, I guess, what keeps it airy.
Oh, are you showing her?
We forgot about these.
Yeah.
Okay, this because I was, Jocelyn has a menagerie at home. I don't know. She's got sheep. She's got rabbits.
Because she teaches
fox.
a course every year in the store.
Yes, and she makes different critters. So this one is called Fox and Deer by Julie Williams. So if you live in Montreal and you feel like taking the class, it will be in November. So you can find the schedule on our website. And I mean, it's just I want all these, but I mean, knitting these, oh my God.
I wonder if she'd sell them.
Oh, the fine hands and the detail, and
the clothes, and
oh my
God.
God.
They even have underwear. It's crazy.
It's like there's this one doesn't have underwear, but she's got a tail. I mean, it's just just one is cuter than the next. It's ridiculous how cute these things are.
And the detail that Jocelyn does. Look at the color work on this guy's sweater.
I know. Look at that. Come on. So, and perfectly knit and accessorized, and she goes, I have so much fun in choosing the clothes and knitting the clothes.
It's like playing dolls.
Oh my God. Oh, look at this. She put a little bumblebee button on the back. I mean, she's just too. She's
so much attention to detail.
Yeah, and look at the color work on the tail. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different patterns. So you can see, if you're not into fox, but you want bunnies or
so I
whatever.
think Julie Williams designs all of these various patterns, and Jocelyn has done all of them and teaches them. So
it's fantastic. So just wanted to give a little.
So that's, you said, coming up in November, Lise?
Yes, in November. Okay. So if you want to sign up in Montreal, you can go to our website and then you can call us, because you can't sign up on our website for courses. We're working on it, but so you can call the store and do that.
Okay.
And then we have one more. That's the Capstan.
Okay, the Capstan. Remember, we first saw this hat. We first saw this hat on Diana Walla, who was freshly arrived from Norway after having moved to Montreal. For how long was she here altogether? About a year?
Oh, I think longer. 2 years, maybe.
2 years,
I think she was here 2 years for sure.
Anyway, she came to the store wearing this hat, and I loved everything about it. The shape, the halo, you guys, the fiber. So again, we had to.
So what happens is we see this thing that we like. We don't have the yarn, so then we bring in the whole line of yarn because of one hat.
All in, exactly.
So this is called. Melissa pronounces it bløne.
Bløne. So this is also from Hillesvåg. It's the bløne yarn, and it is also made with the slightly gray Pelzul garn, the Pelzul sheep fiber. And what it does is it gives the yarn this beautiful warmth. Well, there's the halo from the fiber, but also
color,
because it's over a slightly gray hued yarn, it just has that sort of undertone and that hue underneath, which just makes the yarn feel so warm. Isn't that good, Lise?
This is wearing a casquette. It covers my casquette, like a ball cap, because it's covering my glasses. Look at that. That's not intentional, but I feel like I could wear this and not get my glasses wet. I hate it when when it snows and the snow gets on my glasses.
I think
it's so frustrating. I don't know. I feel like I can look at that. I'm creating
just pull it down over your
face. It's like you've got the cascade, the waterfall neck. I've got the glass visor. Look at that. I love it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Put it on properly.
Okay, madame.
I love the shape of this hat.
I know. It's I feel a bit hip wearing it.
Yeah, it's totally hip. This pattern is by Nora Gahn, by the way. It's called Capstan. Capstan.
It's
and
so
this was
cozy.
knit for us by Michelle. What's Michelle's last name?
Oh my goodness, I knew it, but I forgot. She's one of
we should know because she's one of our teachers now.
Yeah, we're so excited. She walked in our store and we were so excited to welcome her and offer her to teach, and she was so excited to knit for us. So she's on our staff now.
Some beautiful samples,
yes.
And she is going to be teaching a few classes.
Yeah,
as well.
And I have to say this feels really nice.
It feels good, right?
It feels so
people
nice,
touch
and
this
it's not
like,
heavy.
Oh, it's rustic. It is so soft knit up when it's knit and blocked.
Okay, we're saying soft.
Okay,
but it's not like merino soft. It's like rustic soft. Come on. We don't want to mislead people, Melissa.
No, we don't.
You're not wearing cashmere here.
You're not wearing cashmere.
But you're wearing, you know what? It's like...
Does it feel picky to you at all?
No, but I got a lot of hair, right? So I can't feel anything.
Okay, put it on your neck.
Okay, let me put it.
I mean, just
let me put it on my forehead.
Okay.
It's not picky. I could see how people could feel a bit of that, like, there's a
Texture.
a scratch, like but it's not scratchy. I feel that it kind of sits, it doesn't suck me in. Okay. It kind of sits nicely. It allows air to pass.
Yeah.
It feels very, very comfortable. Very comfortable.
That's Noragon designing for you, right?
Very, very comfortable. The shape of the hat is perfect. It's comfortable.
Yeah. And that's what Diana said. Diana said that this yarn just gets softer and softer. Yeah. And especially after that first blocking.
Yes. So, you know, it's because, you know, we don't want people to think we say soft and then they're like,
that
they're getting like a cashmere merino kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
So I was trying to see.
We would tell you if you were getting cashmere merino.
We'd be like,
exactly.
Oh, I really like this hat.
Isn't it good? It's totally you too, Lise.
I think I'm gonna.
It reminds me very much of that other one.
The cocoon.
The cocoon.
Well, you know what's funny?
Similar shape.
At EYF, we actually saw this yarn and for the first time in person, and I bought myself a skein because I wanted to knit the cocoon hat by Maison Riri.
I know, I bought it too.
That's a great pattern.
Okay,
so,
but maybe you'll do this one instead.
I think I already have like the cocoon hat. Yeah, I wear that all winter, so maybe I'll do this.
But I don't know, the yarn that you used for that one pilled like hell. Sorry.
It looked terrible, but it was like...
I know, but you know what's
I like the shape.
It's hilarious is that it looked like hell and you still wore it because you love the fit of it so much.
Yes, exactly.
So it's really about that shape.
Yeah, so maybe I'll make one again like that in the blonde.
Wasn't that first thing we gleaned on our very first podcast episode?
You're like, Sha.
You can't wear that, Lisa.
I don't know. This colors me too. You know me.
Do everything. Do everything about it, Lisa.
I tell you.
Maybe you can just ask Michelle to knit you one.
You know what?
She's knit 3 already. She knits it so fast.
In my head, that's exactly what was happening.
Yeah, you're not going to.
I am not going to knit. I just got too many things on my plate. I'm just going to commission a hat. Not that expensive.
Can you ask her to make me one too?
Yeah. Okay. We'll choose our colors after the podcast. Okay, so I do feel like a little bit of an elf, I have to say.
Do you?
Yeah, I like that feeling.
Okay,
kind of a little magical, mystical thing happening.
Well, that's you.
That is me. You know what I think we should do? I know it's maybe out of context, but we've talked already about 2 of the Hillesvåg yarn. So why don't we just throw in the Sol
and the Tinde?
And we talked about the Tinde already for the pullover.
Oh yeah, okay. So those are both the Pelzel garns.
And then this is the Sol.
The Sol. Okay, so what's interesting about the Pelzel garn is because it doesn't come, because it's a slightly gray, naturally gray color, it is not possible to, without I guess bleaching, to get the white. It doesn't come in a white color. So in order to be able to do color work, most people like to have a white as an option or a hard black. And then this is just sort of the natural, I think. So the Tinde is a 22 stitch gauge, and these versions, this is Sol, also from Hillesvåg. Sorry, let me turn those around. These are lamb's wool in those 3 neutral colors. So we added these because they are the same gauge and can be used interchangeably with the Tinde, so that if you have color work and you want some of those neutrals mixed in with it, you can have them with, to work with your Hillesvåg.
So those 2, so it's the Tinde with the Sol that are the same gauge, but just have
22.
different names
They're
because
22. Yeah.
And then the Blane is the bulky one at a 14 stitch gauge.
Yeah.
This is actually the color that I bought. I was in my blue phase last year.
Yeah.
And then the other one that we got from them, and I believe we only have 2 colors, is called the Villiers.
And you bought this at EYF,
yes, because we saw Ellie from Skeyndir at EYF in the booth where we saw the Hillesvåg, and she said, "You've got to buy this one. It is amazing." So it's a bit of a softer version.
It's a lamb's wool as well.
It's a lamb's wool, exactly. But there's something a little bit softer about this texture.
Weight?
It's a sport weight yarn. So I bought myself some of this, and then of course we had to order it for the store. So this is a sport weight, and like I said, I believe we only have these 2 colors available, sort of a dark charcoaly and then the natural color.
Is that really true? Is that us that we would have ordered just 2?
No, yeah. Maybe. We had a reason.
Anyway.
We had a reason. Who knows what the reason was.
There's method in our madness. We may have forgotten what it is.
We ordered it a long time ago, but But you only really need these two colors in the
Exactly.
world. Like, seriously.
These are the most important ones, people. Those are the.
That's it.
You know, really.
You don't need anything
Ultimately,
else.
it's all you need.
Okay, maybe a little green and a little pink, and a little blue, and then we're
There you
all
go.
done. You know, oh, and that yellow, that golden yellow,
yes.
and then we're good. So how predictable. So even though we're out of order, I thought might as well finish up and talk about that.
Yeah, no, perfect.
So we're also hosting a trunk show by Harrisville, and it's their Nightshades trunk show. And we were very fortunate because Nick was coming to see his cousin up in Montreal. So he brought the trunk show to us, and we had a lovely chat and a lovely lunch together.
Yeah.
And so Melissa Instagrammed it. There are quite a few patterns, and we're not going to have enough time to talk about all the patterns, but you've Instagrammed them, so you can go there and see what they all are. And they were all designed by Whitney Hayward, and the photography is very of this moment, the youth,
Very modern,
you know, very modern and very youthful. So it's kind of fun. She added this very artistic element to photographing her designs, which is something maybe the knitting world wasn't really used to.
And it's a little bit of a departure for Harrisville as well.
Yeah.
They tend to be more classic and traditional in their approach, but she's sort of taking them in a different direction, I think, with the Nightshades photography and design as well.
Yeah.
Even the patterns themselves are very modern in their aesthetic, and they are beautiful. We saw them last year at EYF for the first time, and we loved them. So when Nick brought them, we were like, oh my God, they're even more beautiful than we remember. And we want to knit all the things.
And we were,
no time.
It's so amazing. Nick is just so open to that. He's so open to Whitney's vision and bringing something new and fresh. So it's great to see. And the patterns too, like, you know, fitted tank top that's short, made out of wool. It's like really something.
No longer a tunic with no sleeves and great scarves and
even like cabled sweater, but a little bit cropped. So really lots of fun.
Yeah.
And then I designed last year the In Good Company scarf, which I did in the Nightshades talk radio, which he said ended up becoming his most popular color. Of course, it's because of the scarf I designed.
Could only be, at least.
So again, it's hard to see because of the dark colors, but you know, we have a little bit of texture. This cross stitch pattern, stockinette with this other little kind of slip stitch pattern at the bottom and a fringe. And this is you don't have to do the fringe if you don't want, if you're not a fringe person. But what's kind of nice is that you have an interesting part at the beginning, you have long stockinette, and then you have interesting at the bottom. So we sell kits for these.
It's pretty. It's one of those patterns where there's always something new to do. I mean, there is a long straightaway of stockinette in the middle, but there's enough fun stuff to keep you engaged, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you're looking forward to getting to the end to do the end
the
of
rest of the
rest
texture.
of it.
So all that to say that we have a huge amount of nightshades back in stock.
Yes, we do.
Right?
Lots. We got like an amazing, massive order. So, you can check that out on our web store.
Yes.
So that's our. I think that's it for
that page one done, Lise?
Page one. We better hurry up because the cleaning lady's coming in 20 minutes.
Works in progress.
Vas-y, madame.
Okay.
Ton chandail.
So I have one work in progress. I feel like, of course, I have many more, but nothing that is
worth mentioning.
Actually getting any attention right now. So I have been working on, so I actually got to this stage just before I started the super simple summer sweater, and then this went on the back burner for a couple of weeks. But this is the errata sweater, also by Jennifer Steingass, and the pattern allows you to choose a 2-color option or a 4-color option. I chose the 2-color option, and I'm knitting it with the Zerarum Natura Ulisse, which is the most beautiful woolly soft. This one is soft.
So what's
yarn.
nice about this is it's a merino, but it's non-superwash, so it's light. It's light, and you still have a bit of that real rusticy feeling.
Yes,
but the softness
it's still
of merino.
It's still soft. It's still the softness of merino, exactly. This one, I think I've decided to do there are 2 sleeve options, going straight and then having sort of like a gather just at the cuff, so it's a little a bit of a bell shape, and then just the tapered with sort of a long ribbed cuff. So I think I'm going to do that version. So I just picked up my stitches over here for my sleeves to start, and I think there are so many things that I want to cast on, but I'm trying to be good, and I'm feeling, in fact, I almost cast on 2 things this weekend, and then I said, you know what, no, I'm just going to finish this because I'd like to wear it at Rhinebeck.
Yeah. So
and then if I can just get it off, and then my reward will be
other stuff.
Yes, because what I'd like to do is an Ursa sweater by Jacqueline Susliak in the Blöne. In fact, Naomi's knitting a store sample for us in this And if you haven't seen that pattern, it's called Ursa. You guys go check it out. This would be a perfect option for it. Okay, so that's it, really. There's not much to say about this except that I love it. All of Jennifer's patterns are beautifully written and easy to read and easy to follow. The color work was an absolute pleasure, and this is I think it's a 21 or 24 stitch gauge. Anyway, it seems to be a gauge that a little smaller than what I normally knit at, but I found it went really fast because the color work keeps you going, right? And then and then and then it's just round and round for the body, which is my favorite kind of knitting.
And following up on Melissa, I'm actually doing the stalactite sweater
in Durarum
Natura, but in the Gilead. So that's in the Aran weight. So this is the pattern that was in Laine magazine, but it's available now from Ravelry as a paid pattern, and it's by Camille Roussel. And I had actually seen it in the Isolde booth, and it was in light gray, and these exact colors, but a different yarn.
Yeah.
So I've decided to do it.
So good.
Yeah, and I tried it on, and it looked fantastic on me. So I had to rip it back because I had made a little mistake in the little pattern here. Yeah, just it's not a hard pattern at all, but because there were slip stitches, I had slipped. Anyways, I was just off on my count. I was clearly not in the right frame of mind to do it. So
it's fall now.
Yeah, and when I came back from Japan, I'm like, okay, let me get to it.
I do like that.
The slip stitch here?
Well, this.
Yeah, this is like nice. Like if you want to see, that's where I had made the mistake in the corner. So I really like that. And I'm really trying to be loose because I am tight. And so when I do the row of color work, I actually don't wrap the yarn. I just hold it like this, and I'm trying to be really loose about it. So again, this yarn is like delicious. I'm hoping that I can do this one for Rhinebeck.
So you're using the Gilead, which is the thicker.
So it's the thicker, it's the Aran weight one, and these are the two colors that I'm using. So this is called Goéland, and this one I think is Baleine that I'm doing.
So this is the Ulysse, just to show the difference in the thickness.
This is also a 50-gram ball, right? And this one is a 100-gram ball.
Yeah.
But you can see the thickness. It's there. So I'm really trying to stay focused like Melissa. I have 2 sweaters on the go, and I'm like, okay, I'm 2 sweaters and a shawl, and then another shawl that my black tartan that I kind of left, which I'm designing,
which I think is so good.
So I really want to get back to that. So I'm not doing anything else. So I'm hoping to do this one for Rhinebeck, and then the other one is the rose cardigan, which I've seamed. It's all together, and I started my panels, and I'm doing 2 at the same time. I think I talked about that already, and I've got like this much done. So if I could do both for Rhinebeck, that will be quite a feat. So then the other thing again is like, this is called the Siki shawl by Don Henderson. And I don't know. Yeah, the way he wears the shawl on the side and then just these little tassels. And I just love the fact that there's not even a border. Seamless, there's no border.
No, it just ends.
I'm like, what a concept. It's a triangle with no border. It just does that. So,
show the picture on the back where you see the whole...
Oh, yeah. There we go. So I don't know, I just love that. Ever since I saw the photograph, it just really spoke to me.
I loved it too, but then I saw a whole
twisted
shawl
rib.
and twisted rib. I'm not sure I could do that.
I didn't even finish the row to show on the podcast. How pathetic of me. And also, it doesn't look as nice knitting it up because you need to stretch out the rib.
Yes.
So it just kind of looks like that. But then when you stretch it out, look how beautiful it's going to be. It's going to be really, really pretty. And I'm doing it again in Julie Asselin Fino. There's something about this color.
Look at that.
It's really pretty.
Yes. It's going to be great.
I know. So I'm doing it in the Mignardises colorway by Julie Asselin.
Is it slow going? Do I have it in Mealy's?
No, you don't do this. You cannot do this. You will not. This is like miles of stock.
That's why you need knitting friends to know you.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to knit this. And I wrote in my Instagram post about it. It's like really, it's like you get in this flow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what I feel like. Wouldn't I get in the flow too?
No. Yeah, you get in the flow for like the odd time, and then you'll curse it. And it's just like
that's one of those things that you suck it up for the product, the end product. Though.
And there's like not even you don't even have to like obviously look at a pattern. You just go, you do your 4 increases, and you just go, and It's really lovely, and I mean, she writes the thing is, it's a 4-row repeat because you're increasing, so it changes. But you don't have to look at it because
once you've done your increases,
yeah, the next row, you know if it's a knit or a purl. So I just find this is like those moments where I just want to be calm and flow, but not just do stock.
Just have to be in a rhythm.
Yeah, be in a rhythm. So I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'll just stretch it out one more time for you guys
just
to see.
For a little pattern porn.
And people have been asking me. I have the little slow knitter progress keeper from Twill and Print. I know, it's perfect. So some people have asked about this. We were sold out, but we've placed another order. And the only reason I have the progress keeper is because I just want to keep track of my right side because it's it's reversible. So I'm really, really enjoying that zen-ness of this pattern.
Very nice.
Okay.
You've got some nice projects on your needles.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's okay. Products. Now we're into the like infomercial.
Yes, we're into the products that nobody needs,
but everybody wants.
Have if you want.
Yep.
Okay. So we what was it? The beginning of the summer we got in our order of Pleister.
Yeah, it came in and it went out.
Yeah. So we had our Pleister backpacks, and then we also had these project bags. And they all flew out of the store. This is one of my favorite project bags. I use it all the time. Unfortunately, we didn't get any in this shipment, so I'm really sorry about that. However, we did get loads of
backpacks.
The backpacks.
That come with a project bag.
And they all come with a project bag. The only difference is, I guess it's a little bit smaller and it doesn't have the
leather
leather loop. Yeah. So, but you know what? I actually used this is the color I took actually at the beginning of the summer, and I used this as a toiletry bag on my trip. Actually, it is my toiletry bag now because it has these great pockets and everything, your shampoo, your face
deodorant,
wash, moisturizer, deodorant, your toothpaste, everything has a slot in here. It was just the perfect way to keep my stuff
organized.
Not
waterproof.
It's not waterproof, but I'm not messy with my stuff.
So. At all.
No. So the backpack is great. I think a lot of people are familiar with these now, but they're very spacious. They have a separator if you wanted to put a laptop in here. It's padded. And then you've got also pockets on this side with little grommets if you wanted to. Sorry, Delise, did I knock you out there?
No.
If you wanted to use those as yarn guides. So these are great. They're back in the shop, I believe, in every color still. They've just gone back up. And then we've got some new bags. So this one is called the project bag. So this is it's like the best big project bag. You can put your sweater, you can knit a blanket, you can have a few projects. And what's nice about this one is there's a little pocket, so you can put your cell phone, your wallet. So it can be like a project bag, and it can be a like your little purse, and it's perfect on your shoulder. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so it's just the right size for having on your shoulder and tucking under your arm. Just grab and go.
And then I guess you can knit too from it. And it's nice because it has a drawstring, so for those of you who don't like zippers, it's perfect because it's not going to pull your yarn, but it's deep enough that it won't pop out.
Yeah. And again, just like the backpack and like the project bag as well, you've got all those pockets on the inside. And the only difference between that one and the one I'm holding is that this one is a crossbody project bag. So it comes with an adjustable strap, and it can be worn over your shoulder or crossbody, and it's got, I guess, 6 different holes, so you can adjust it. It's quite customizable. So,
and if you're a person who's like, oh, I like crossbody and shoulder, what you can do is you can just go to a shoemaker and just put more holes, and then you can shorten the strap. So that would be very easy to transfer that into a shoulder bag as well, if you want it to be dual purpose. So and then from Pleister we also have needle cases, which we didn't have before. So there comes in small, medium, and large. And so the small and the medium you can do interchangeables, circulars, and also DPNs. And you'll see inside, it's very clever here, the way she's done it, that she has this area here for either complete fixed circulars or your cords. And then she has these little slots in here for either your DPNs or your tips.
Needle tips, exactly.
Interchangeable.
So I took one of these on the weekend, and I did Instagram some pictures. What I did was I took my entire Licky set, and I put all the tips in these tiny little openings here. So it's the perfect height and length for your 5-inch tips. Your 4-inch tips will go in there as well, except that you might have to dig them out a little bit with your fingers. And then I tucked in all the cords and notions and additional
accessories
accessories that came with it, and tucked them all in here. And it just was so compact. And then, if you need to take your set, you just grab this and go, rather than having to take your, your whole big, large fold-over thing. I just found it a much more sort of compact and aesthetically appealing version of a needle organizer for myself.
And what I think is good is, too, as a travel, because sometimes when I go on a trip, it's like I need a few different sets.
So you just grab it.
So instead of taking my whole needle kit, I just put a few sets in there and have the essentials.
Because you never know when you might buy yarn on a trip and need to cast on something new immediately.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. Seriously.
Happens all the time.
And then this is a large one that's quite long, so this would be good for like 8-inch DPNs. And this one doesn't have... I would use this one for either the fixed circulars or longer DPNs, because it goes quite deep, so you would probably lose your tips if you went down there. So they still have the big areas here for fixed circulars, and then in here too, there's areas for your DPNs or for other things as well. You can even put rulers down there, whatever. So very clever.
What's nice is they really do expand well. I thought, when I fill it up, it's going to be, it's going to be sort of, I'm really going to have to stretch this to close it. But they hold a lot and still,
they still close nicely.
And they don't feel like, you've really, shoved and you're trying to keep it closed.
And
well designed.
And the nice thing with Pleister is all the products come in all the colors. So we've been showing different ones in different colors. So, but you can get all of the products in all the colors.
And this is a company owned by a woman named Waruni, who lives in Norway, and I think she designs everything and has either a company in Norway, or she has a company in, I think it's Bulgaria, where they're made. So. Anyway, they are fantastic. So the first time we brought those in, we didn't bring in the needle cases, and this time we brought them in all sizes and all colors, and we're in love with them.
And we're just like crazy for bags, definitely. I think all knitters are. So we're very happy too that we are now able to have the fringe bags. We had some fringe products in our store, and now we have the town bags, and we also have the project bags.
Yes.
So that's it. We have two.
So do we just have this color in stock of the town bag right now?
We have also the black and the new one that's coming out as well.
Oh yes.
Which?
So this is actually not coming out until September 13th, which means we will not be able to air this podcast until Friday. But the latest color of the
beautiful
fringe bag is, I think they're calling it fig.
I mean, I keep calling it berry. Look, it matches my hat.
It's perfectly.
It's amazing color. So it's a wax. It has a part that's wax canvas. The pocket
these
here.
Pockets that wrap around.
So
they wrap around all the way across the bottom, so that it protects your bag at the bottom a little bit. Yeah.
And so the town bag, I used the town bag on the weekend for all my art supplies because I went away for this weekend and trip, and I had all my pencils, my watercolors, I was like, oh my God, it's the perfect art bag. So it's the perfect bag for anything. Yeah. You can really put a lot of stuff in here.
You can put a lot of stuff in the town bag.
Melissa was funny because she was walking home with two of them. Yeah. Story.
I had my original one, and then I was testing out whether or not I needed a black one as well.
So we also have black in stock.
Yeah, so you can get a whole project in here. You've got loads of pockets. So I stick you can either stick your phone on an outside pocket or an inside pocket. You can have your notions, accessories, your pattern, your keys and sunglasses and everything you can just pack on,
I have to say, I love a project bag that has those easy access pockets on the outside for my phone, my keys, my wallet.
Exactly.
And it's got the drawstring.
So really, to me, this is like an everything bag. It's your project, but also a handbag.
Yeah.
So if you just want to take one thing with you.
Yeah, this is what you bring.
And your project, this is it.
Or your art supplies.
Yeah.
And I took the khaki one. Is it called khaki?
Army green, I think.
Green. So we're sold out of that. We just have these 3 colors left. This one is, when this podcast airs, it will just be launched. So you'll have first access to these ones if you'd like. And we'll be placing another order, of course, to have the green ones in stock. And then we have the fringe bag, the original fringe bag.
Yeah, so we have these in all colors available. We've actually placed a couple of orders already. And this one sells out quite quickly. This is my favorite one, the Hank. This is by
I know.
Jen Hewitt.
Yes.
Jen Hewitt, who's a textile designer, and she does various versions for the fringe bag, and this was just one of my favorites. My favorite.
So this is the only one we have that has a print on it, and then we have some regular canvas and wax canvas.
Yeah.
So we have...
although the army one, I guess you could call a print.
Oh yeah, I guess
The
so.
camo?
The camo, which is a wax canvas, and then we have one that's in this color that's wax canvas as well. So we're just really happy to be able to get these bags because they're beautiful, they're practical,
They're well made.
they're super well made, and we love supporting all the workshops that Karen uses to produce all the products.
Exactly.
So it's great. So we have, and then we have our last. We have 2 more series of bags.
So many bags, you guys.
So Zigzag Stitches is Catherine from Sarnia, and we've been working with her since we opened our shop.
Yeah.
And she is such an amazing sewer, and she just, the quality of her workmanship is amazing. So we just like...
It's really been like 8 years since...
Yeah, 8 years since we saw her on Etsy, and she's just so lovely to deal with, and she sends us beautiful photographs, so it makes our job easier. Yeah. So she does, she puts like a fun print on the outside, and usually a coordinating print, nice print on the outside, a coordinating print on the inside, and then in the bigger ones she has I took all little ones, I didn't even take a big one. Let me run over and get...
I can get one.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So, she's the one who helped us create our boxy bag line where we had the denim and the canvas. And so we ran out of fabric for that. So now we're just going from the fabrics that she has. So a lot of just fun, you know. So we go from the sobre with the fringe supply, like we say, to the whimsical and the fun with zigzag stitches. So this one I particularly like as well. And what's nice about these two is there's the larger ones. They're called the bigger boxy bags. She has a pocket on the inside. So this is
the little ones don't have a pocket?
No, the little ones don't. I've been I have so many boxy bags at home. Every time
contemplating a new one.
I've been contemplating this one, but I'm going to resist because I have like 6 at home.
Leave some for the people.
I know. I even gave some to some of the teachers at Jamaica School. Yeah. So we try to pick colors that fun and whimsical. Yeah. So they're fantastic.
They're great.
Super well made.
You can. It doesn't look like it, but you can really fit a whole sweater.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely can fit a sweater in here. A baby blanket as well. Yeah. No problem. Now we had these. So the next set of bags we're going to talk about are the no knits. Mm-hmm. So the no knits. I love these because this is like the practical side of me who just likes to shove things in my bag because I don't always have the luxury of just like walking with this. So sometimes I just need something that I can shove in my bag. And I love the no knits pouches. They're machine washable. You hang to dry. They dry super quickly. If you like a yarn guide, they have that. What I love too about these is you just so what I do a lot of times is I clip it to my belt if I'm standing up. You can also put your you'd have to snap it through your wrist. It doesn't go right through, but you also have this side here. And the people who worry about zippers, and they worry that the fringe bag doesn't close enough or that the zippers will snag, this is great. So this is the small, and then this is the medium. And the medium too, you can fit a sweater and a baby blanket in here. So that's the medium. And what's kind of nice,
it's called that
ripstop nylon, yes. And it's a different shape. So people like rectangles, some people like, gussets, other people like. So this is it's called Go Knits bag, but it's really like a pouch. And then the large one. So when I do my blankets, my large Afghans, I put it in the large one. And this has...
It's really giant.
It's really, really big. Like, if you're doing like a humongous, big, thick Aran sweater, probably, I guess. Or blankets.
I like an Afghan, yeah.
Yeah, an Afghan. So, and this one has a bit of a backpacky thing to it, if you want that. So again, machine washable, super light, compact. You can shove. You don't have to worry about, destroying your beautiful bag. And the other set we have are the Bagoo. So the Bagoo, what's fun about Bagoo is these are their 3D zip sets. So you can actually even use these for travel. So like Melissa used her Placer. This is my favorite too. You can put your shoes in there, your underwear, so you can use them as packing cubes. Mm-hmm. So what's fun is they come out with new designs every season. So
I never thought of that. I need a set now for
there
packing
you go.
cubes.
And they're so much fun. So right now my Siki shawl. So this is what I do. So it's small right now. So
do you go up?
Yeah, I change. I go up as I go. So now I'm in this one because it's so pretty. I'm like in this pinky phase, and I have my carabiner, so I can clip that on. So and then when it gets too big, then I'll move up into the medium, which is this one, and the large one is like the Go Knits. The large one is like super big, and I use that if I'm doing like a big blanket project, or even a sweater. If it's like a larger like sweater with a lot of ease, I would put it. It's not as big as the Go Knits pouch, the large one. So I love these. I know. And every time we're like, oh really? We're gonna order more? I'm like, yes. I just love them.
Well, they always sell.
They always sell.
Sell.
They're really fun. And then our last bag.
Okay. So this is the you guys, possibly my favorite bag of all time.
I love the leather.
This is a Jezebel Bee bag. It is her it's like her canvas bags that she makes that you can wear on your arm while you're knitting with your project. I don't really wear this one on my arm. Actually, that's not true.
You do.
I do. I wear it on my arm all the time because I like to have my two hands free, not just, if I need to check my phone or I need to,
Even when you're sitting there, I've seen you on the couch with it in there and you have it there.
Really?
Yeah. I saw you do that one.
That's weird.
Well, no, maybe it's just like you're talking, whatever, and then you sit down and
I
it's
still
so
have it on my arm or
yeah.
something. Yeah, super comfy because this leather is the softest, most pliable leather in God's creation. It is so beautiful. I love the shape of this bag. I love
the fact that here it's smooth and then here you have the seam. I just love that. I mean, I don't have one of these because it's not my style of bag, but I love the leather and I love the look, and I keep I'm going to take one.
I know you want one because aesthetically it's beautiful, right?
It's beautiful, but it's not my knitting style. It's not the kind of bag I like to carry. So I'm like, Jezebel, you got to make one for me. She's like, I know. It's in my head.
Working on one,
I'm working on it. So eventually we'll have the Lisa version of the Jezebel.
So this fits in here perfectly, you guys, along with my wallet, along with my phone, my keys, etc. So it's quite roomy, but even if you have just a couple of things in there too, it just like
so it could be a project bag, like it can be a purse,
it could be a shopping
bag.
You can just stick your project pouch in there along with all your other stuff, and it's butter. It's soft. Now I will say that I bought this back in May and I took it all over Europe with me. I took it.
It gets better with age.
To me, it gets better with age. But if you're the kind of person who wants, something that's always going to look nice and
it's not for you.
Not show any marks whatsoever. I've had this in the rain, so every once in a while I'll get a little water drop spot, or your nails might leave a little bit of a scratch on it, or if you hit something, they kind of rub out. But at the same time, it's the kind of thing that's just going to get nicer and better and more.
Imagine when it turns 50, it's going to be perfect.
When I'm 100 years old, we will still be doing this, Lise, and I will show you my bag because I feel like it will last forever.
I tell you, the leather is, I don't know where she sourced that leather, but it's like that's my dream bag is knit with this leather.
Yeah. So this is one fresh out of the box. I mean, really.
Look, it's already changing colors. There's that patina.
It's
if you're a person who likes that used, that thrown,
just that, it's like a leather sofa on your arm. Like I like one of those really cool
those leather boots,
sofas.
Those leather boots that. Anyway, it's fab.
So we have I think 20 of those in stock right now.
And I think why all of our stuff is fab is because it comes from fab people who design them. Like lots of women too, who are just
local. These are Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal.
Yeah, Jezebel's a Montreal designer.
Yeah. So it's so much fun when we can promote and work with local people. Yeah. So I think that's it for the bag section.
That was a lot.
We have maybe quickly we can just go continue our notions and then we have a little bit of yarn. So we have actually from Coco Knits. So Coco Knits has come out with these large jumbo stitch markers, and the colors are very of the zeitgeist right now. So I love the colors, and Naomi actually took some as stacking rings.
Oh, she did?
She did. Look at that.
Try those on.
I think, they're too small for me because I broke my finger, so I can't get it on here. I broke my wrist.
Oh, I dropped one.
Can you get them on your... I can't get it on because of my broken finger. Not my finger, my broken wrist, which swole
your fingers?
Swolled my fingers. Yeah, there we go. So Naomi's like, it's way cheaper than buying rings. Look how cute that is.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Seriously.
You can coordinate them to your outfit, you guys.
Yeah. I love that. And
what
they're
a
white.
concept.
I know.
Those must be perfect size 7 because that finger is a size
And
7.
Françoise was like, oh, let me try those. And then she put them on, and everyone's all excited now. So stitch markers and rings.
What
and
a
stacking.
hilarious thing.
'Cause,
So these will fit knitting needles up to 12 millimeter, I think, right, Lise?
Yeah. Yeah, they're huge. Up to 15, I think they're huge.
Well, yeah, we should double check so people will know.
It'll be on the website.
It will be.
It will be on the website.
Oh, it's not even on.
I'm pretty sure these are good for 15. I'm thinking 15 millimeter.
US 19. What is that? I think it's a US 19. I should know because I put the information
US
on our
19,
web
I think,
store.
is 15 millimeter because 11.
I think it's 15
Oh, that's
millimeter.
good.
Yeah.
I can't do all that math right on the spot while people are watching.
The pressure.
The pressure. And then we have this from Coco
Okay,
Knit.
yeah. So this is a new item from Coco Knits. So this is a little yarn bowl that you can have. Yeah, did you know that you were still
Oh my
wearing
god!
it?
Like it looks so good, but now it's hot with
You're
our
hot.
lights.
So these are great. These are actually just to put your yarn cakes in. You can put a yarn ball or a yarn cake. So if you have, sometimes you have those yarn cakes that are kind of falling apart,
Yeah,
especially if you
linen or
tend
cotton.
yeah. And if you tend to knit from the center of a center pull ball, your ball kind of collapses in on itself as you use more and more and get towards the end. Or if you have it rolled up like this in a ball, and every time you pull from it kind of like rolls away from you. So these little yarn holders are great for that. You can actually put 2 in here and have the you can do this up, and then you can kind of use it as yarn guides to
That's
have one
fantastic,
come up,
yeah.
one come out either.
And what's
either
nice
side
is
here.
it's a yarn guide that you can still get your ball out, because a lot of times
Exactly.
bags have yarn guides and then you have to cut it to take it
To
out.
take it out.
So this is super smart that you just snip it there, and then
Yeah.
it creates like a nice little.
Exactly.
like,
So they
opening.
were. I have to admit that when they arrived, we were like, "Oh,
yeah.
those are bigger than we thought."
Yeah.
But when you think about it, the fact that you
Yeah.
can get two skeins in there and that you can use it as a yarn
Yeah.
guide actually makes sense.
And actually, if you had the small skeins, there's like 3 sections.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool! It just
Right?
dawned on me.
It's a color work thing.
Yeah, so you can do 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
No more than 3. No, you can. But that's great. So
And this is
very
connected
clever.
to. I just realized it's connected to the Jezebel B.
La Rouge.
La Rouge. So these are the
DPN.
DPN holders that kind of coordinate with the leather bags. So they're Jezebel's La Rouge collection, and so these just hold your straight DPNs.
While you're in, while
yeah.
you're
So those have been restocked as well. just to
sock,
say.
mitten, hat, anything is
Yeah.
in progress.
Exactly.
So that's really smart. That's a fun little. And it's Julie always comes up with very clever products. So it's really.
Yeah.
You know what we forgot to talk about? The Knit for
What?
Fun retreat.
We forgot to talk about the
Oh
Knit
my
for Fun retreat,
God.
and we forgot to talk about the fact that our Grace collection has launched.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's finish this, and then because the cleaning lady's gonna
We
come
keep
and then we'll
saying,
talk.
like, it's like the Grace, the new palette has just been around forever, but it hasn't. We actually launched it in the summer when we were podcasting.
under the radar. What is wrong with us?
Okay.
Okay, so Jewel Designs. So you talk
Yes,
about
okay.
Jewel
So
Designs.
we did bring in lots of new Jewel Designs products as well. We've long carried Jewel, and we brought in, so in addition to, okay, these are called her shawl pins. Okay, so these are shawl pins. So these are a beautiful silver. We also have some new shawl sticks. This is the filigree honeybee and the alpaca. And then I love this shawl pin.
And that's
She
great
has a
'cause the
demonstration.
stick is attached.
Yeah, so there's a
you won't use it,
demonstration
you
on
won't
how
use it.
to put that on her website if you need one. These are shawl cuffs, you guys. So you know how we've been selling those shawl
Knox
cuffs
Mountain ones?
from recycled belts? This is like a hidden snap shawl cuff. So you can open it up, wrap it around your shawl, and then do it up, and it just adds a little sort of like edgy bling to your.
Yeah,
to
that
your-
jewel has that edgy
Yes.
side. It's like tailored but edgy. So this is really cool
Exactly.
too. This is a thinner one,
Yeah.
and it wraps double. And her
And then it's a
closures are
carabiner closure.
really solid. I mean, her products are so well made, so solid.
That's an indigo color. Do you see
yeah,
just
I was
that
gonna
indigo?
say that's not
Yeah.
black. Or it's like really beautiful. So I mean, it's jewelry for your knitting.
Yeah, and if you want something a little bit more delicate, she also has this closure. What did she call this closure? The minimalist toggle. So it's just one that sort of you feed that through the circle to undo it. And then there's also this minimalist toggle that you can actually you can sew these sides onto the side of a sweater and just have that very delicate little toggle to close the top of your sweater.
And look at Melissa. I like, look at this as a bracelet.
Oh, yeah.
Now this is a bit tight. Like I have a small wrist, so
does it actually fit?
it fits me. But I have a small wrist. I do the if you have like, yeah, it's a bit.
Does this fit?
Small.
I know. Now these come as shawl cuffs. They come in standard sizes.
Look how cool that is, Melissa.
I know. In shawl cuffs, they come in standard sizes. But I do know that if you want, if you want a custom length, because you do want to wear it either as a choker or as a bracelet, you can get those from. Well, this one fits as well. Yeah. This is actually a cool bracelet.
For me, if like I have a 15-inch wrist ruler. So if you can wear a 15-inch wrist ruler, then this one would probably be good for you.
I have a 16-inch wrist ruler, and I mean I could wear a 15 as well. I just like them quite loose.
And I'm sure leather stretches. Like I can definitely see this stretching a little bit.
So
I really like
cool,
that. Oh,
right?
That's it. I might. Yeah. Look at me. It's like I'm wearing all the samples.
But then you've got, you're wearing at least, and then you've got a shawl cuff in case you need it on your wrist.
Do I get a discount? Do I get a staff discount?
I might swing you a discount.
Oh, so kind.
Okay, so these are really nice too. This is also a closure. Now this is a no-sew closure. So these are those things where you actually unscrew this, put it through the side of your sweater and screw it back on. And you do that for both sides, and then you can just open your, this one's a carabiner. This one's a carabiner. So
it's this way. I have the same.
It opens the same. You open it as a carabiner, so that can be how you open your sweater without having to unscrew it.
I mean, those are
they're
the
brilliant.
most clever things ever.
Right? So you have a sweater and you just want to, you don't want to have buttonholes, you don't want to add buttons, but you still want to hold it closed, sort of maybe up here or up here.
And you can move it around, and then what's nice is when you wash your garments, you can just take it off.
Or if you have a shawl you want to wrap around, but you want to hold it in place, this is also perfect for that. So she's amazing.
We could go on and on with
Laura
the possibilities.
And her products.
Yes,
exactly.
Again, another great woman.
Yes,
creating beautiful products.
Powerful women designing in this business.
Nice. Speaking of women, we have our Bloom handmade.
Oh yes, this is Carolyn. So Carolyn from New York, right?
Yes.
So Carolyn is a beautiful...
As Melissa talks, I shall show.
Okay, Carolyn is a beautiful knitwear designer and artist from New York who was up paying a little visit to Montreal with her kids, little vacation at the end of the summer, and she paid us a visit and brought her beautiful cards with her. So if you look at these cards, you want to hold that one up, please? You'll see that they're actually art made with a combination of yarn and different objects, in this case flowers, but it's always a mix. And then she's a beautiful photographer as well, so she's designed these cards, and so we bought a selection of them. So we have the cards. And then we also have...
So are they up on our website already, Melissa?
Yep, they're all up on the website. And then we also have these gift tag sets. I forget how many cards come in a set. Does it say?
I think if you count those.
Yeah, I'll have to count
think they're about
12.
10 or 12. And these are all little measuring tapes that she crocheted around and then photographed them together.
And you actually got one of those measuring
tapes,
I
bought one just for me.
It was a collaboration with Mason Dixon.
Yeah, look at that. Look how beautiful.
At
that.
Do we have the dark one too?
Yeah,
Are you
the dark
already? Yeah. So some of those images are repeated on the gift tags. I love that.
And they're just she didn't put anything on the back.
Yeah.
So for you to write your own message, whether it's a gift card and you want to write a message, or also washing instructions, or fiber. Whenever I give a knitted gift, I always put the washing instructions
and the fiber
content. And these are also, this is a fun one. She said this is very popular when people want to give a gift for babies.
Yeah.
And then here's what she did with her measuring tape.
So her name on Ravelry and Instagram, I believe, is Bloom Handmade Studio. So you can order from us. You can order directly from her, I believe. She has an Etsy shop. And she also has some really beautiful designs on Ravelry as well. So do check her out, Carolyn Bloom Handmade Studio. And all of that stuff is up on the website, now.
Okay.
And she's just so lovely.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Nice,
and her
so
kids too, and her daughter's into knitting, so she's excited to share with that, that passion with her. Okay, and we have a couple of new magazines that came in as well, Melissa. I have C'est le bordel ici. Le bordel
I know. I've lost the thread of what we have.
It is. Here. It's a good thing it's filmed from this up. So nomadic knits.
Okay.
So You want to show that one, Mom?
Yeah, this one we just got in. I think we were a little bit late to getting this one. But
us late to the party? Surprise,
imagine
surprise.
that.
Surprise. So
okay, so this one is called the Harrington hat. And this is designed by Jody of the Grocery Girl. So both Jody and Tracy have patterns in the Nomadic Knits, along with a few other beautiful designers. I know, it's so great. So we, for whatever reason, we didn't get this right off the bat. The Rocky Shores socks by Tracy Miller, which are also extremely cute. Oh, I hope I'm not giving too much of the pattern information away. Anyway, so they're both featured in here. This is the 4th issue, but this is the first one we've carried in the store, right?
Yeah.
So
we can't know everything all the time.
We can't know everything all the time. But when I watched Tracy and Jody's podcast and saw that they were in here, we decided to bring it in, obviously. Fellow
Look
Canadians.
at us, influenced by podcasters. We're all the same. We're all the same. And this is the new issue of Pom Pom. So it is the autumn 2019 issue. So I'll show you the cover.
This one just came out, on the 30th.
And this is the preview when they sent us when Julie Asselin is a distributor here in Canada. And they sent us the preview of, it's coming, pre-orders. And this image here was the one that was in the email. And I was like, I don't know, there was something about that picture. I was so just touched by it. So this is the actual sweater. So that's really lovely.
There are a few in here that I like.
Yeah.
I also like that colorwork one that has scalloped.
Yes. Yeah, I just saw that one. And I also like the shawl on the cover as well.
So Astragal is also really pretty as well. That one I would definitely knit. And, oh yes.
Yes, that one.
This one. That is just so pretty. I love that texture. Yeah. And that is designed by
It's called Eventide.
In Young Kim and it's knit with Quinson Cove Finch. So nice. Eventide, yeah. So that one's in.
And then Rowan, it's the first time actually, so it's the Rowan magazine number 66. So it's interesting because it's the first time it's come in 2 volumes. Usually you just get one book, and these have always been beautiful collector's items, coffee table books. And so we have a few copies of those left. So this one is called the Natural Fiber Focus. And then this one is the main Rowan magazine number 66, and they're sold together in a package. And also we have the French translation. So if you do order this magazine online and you need the copy of the French, because we don't automatically send it out, please write it in the notes, or even if you come to the store and let us know you would like the French translation, and we'll provide you that.
An insert.
Yeah, actually now they're doing PDF.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we'll send the PDF because it's quite large, and so we wouldn't be able to print it out totally, but you'll have access to that in PDF.
So, is that the first year they're doing that instead of the insert?
Yes. Well, what they stopped is they stopped doing the French version. So it was always they had an insert. No, first they had an insert, then they went to publish English and French separately, and then they stopped the French publication, and now they've gone back to French with the PDF. So it's gone through a few reiterations. So I think that's it for our our notions. We have yarn. Quickly. So basically we've restocked a bunch of stuff.
Grab a whole bunch of gracious there, Elise.
Julie Asselin's been restocked. Biche and Bush has been restocked. Retro Seria Mungo, we're waiting for our order.
Mungo's coming, but Mondim we got some.
Mondim, Noro. So we've got the Noro Ito that's been repackaged. I mean, it's such a pretty package. And we did the night shift in that, which is the pattern by Andrea Mowry. I guess. So we don't carry the spin cycle, but we thought that the Ito would be perfect. So you take, and you know what's fun is it doesn't matter what colors you put together.
Just pick two
that inspire you,
contrast,
and then go for it. So we did the night shift with the Ito by Andrea Mowry.
And that's with 2 skeins, right?
Yes, with 2 skeins. They're huge skeins, so that's really fun. Less ends to tie in. And then
I think we might have made a modification or 2. So check out our Ravelry page just in case to make sure that you can get it in 2 skeins.
Exactly. We talked about the Hillesvag, and we have the Sabri. We wanted to give a little shout out to the Sabri here. So this is a
new in store.
It's a new for us to carry Illimani, and it's a new yarn from Illimani called Sabri, and it's a cotton alpaca blend. 83% organic cotton, 15% baby alpaca.
There you go.
And what they've done is they have colors that are one color and they have marled, but the marled are two of the...
It's a combination.
It's a combination. So for example, this one is for 41, and then this one is 84, and then this one is 4138. So meaning they took 41. Do you have 38 there, Melissa?
No, I've got 81 and 82.
Is this 38? Yeah, this is 38 and 41. So these are two different colors, and this one is the combination of these two. Very subtle.
Yeah, and that's the same with this. So this was 81 and 84, and then this is a combination of two, and it's called 81/84. So it's a combination of those two.
And it's
That'd
nice.
be kind of cool to do a fade
Yeah.
somehow with those, right? Like from the
And
light
then this is just natural.
to the marled to
Yeah,
the darker
you can
one.
even go.
Yeah.
So
And
what's nice is that we're often not big fan of marled, but these
Yeah.
marls are so
they're
subtle and
yeah.
natural, and the yarn is divine. And I think this would be a really nice yarn for my on the rails pattern.
I agree.
I'm really, because it's a fingering and my gauge is 24 stitches.
It's almost like
I think it'd
even
be
more
great.
of a transitional version because this
Yes.
one has the linen, but it also has the
It has the cotton, but with
The
the,
cotton.
baby alpaca.
yes.
So
So it
I-
has that warm.
Yeah, the bit of
Fiber.
that warmth, and I think it would be really lovely. So, too many projects,
Oh.
not enough time.
It's so true.
I'll have to get someone to knit me one because I already knit one. So, so that's a beautiful yarn. And the other new yarn that we have, Melissa, before we get to the Grace,
Yeah.
is the Walk Collection.
Oh my goodness!
Look at that. You forgot
yes,
about that
of course.
one.
You guys, so much stuff in this
Podcast.
podcast. I was going to say in this edition.
Look, I'm just gonna hold it.
Okay.
We've got a lot
I
of
mean,
colors.
That's just a.
This is just a little snippet.
Yeah.
This is just like a teaser.
Oops, I
So
dropped a
I'm
bunch of
I,
stuff.
I mean, it's what I find fascinating is how every hand dyer has their own.
Like you can look.
Their own aesthetic. You can look and you can see. And this is a very different palette from anything we've had before.
Boho.
This one is called Granite.
This one is Peach Pop. I mean, what I love about her is she really has those pops of brights, but they're still very
Yeah.
subtly and gently
Sophisticated.
done, you know?
Beach foam. It's true, eh? There's a kind of a subtleness,
delicate.
kind of
It's
like our
delicate.
Grace, but there's color in there.
Yeah. It's a very
unique.
delicate treatment of a variegated yarn,
Yeah,
you know?
I agree, with speckling in
Yeah.
a kind of a subtle way.
So that's called mica.
This is Secret. Of course, the
Did you
camera
already
doesn't
hold
do
these
just
ones up?
yes.
Okay.
And then this one is just it's a marine, so I just wanted to show you more.
So
of
I don't
them.
know how many colors we have. Like
We have 1,
60?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 44.
So
46,
50.
48, 50, 52 for the
Yeah,
colors about.
52 colors. So and they're
Yeah.
they're all up on the website, and
Yeah.
and the pictures are quite good. We actually borrowed them from the Walk Collection website, and they did a really good job of capturing each one. Sometimes it's hard to capture a yarn like this when it's in the skein, the full sort of
Yeah.
variation and depth of color. So what they've done is they've actually taken them out and created little piles, and so you really get a sense of what the colorway is when you look at those photos. So I encourage you to go and look at all the colorways on the
And we
on the
forgot to
website.
say that it's called Cozy Merino because the Walk Collection has lots of different, bases.
Yeah,
So
it's a
the,
single ply.
It's the 100% wool superwash merino single ply, as Melissa
Yeah,
said.
so Walk Collection actually has a cozy merino and a cottage merino, and the only difference between they're both single ply merino yarns, but I believe the cozy merino, the reason we chose this one is just that it's spun a little tighter than the cottage merino.
You feel it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you feel it, which makes it a little bit silkier. It creates a little bit of a smoother fabric than the cottage merino,
Yeah.
and also because of that tighter spin, it's gonna be a little bit more durable if you use this for a garment. Even though it's a single ply.
And we met Catherine at EYF, and so it's again so nice to put a face to a product and to know that it's her little company that she started, and she's from Germany.
Yes.
So we're expanding our countries, which is lovely. So that's our Walk Collection,
Yeah.
and then Grace, our
so
own yarn
we-
that we haven't even talked about on the
I
pod-
know, so
like
we
we
do-
are so lame. It's hilarious,
so lame.
Melissa.
We
Seriously.
are so lame.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the Espace Tricot Grace base. So this is something that we brought in last year, and what we did was we chose this base, and we asked Annie Perrin of knitting it up at that time to dye her colors on the base that we chose, which is the single ply merino cashmere silk. And it was beautiful and we loved it, but we felt that the palette didn't really represent us. And so once we sold out of those colors, what we decided to do was work with Annie over the next couple of months, really honing in on the palette that was just totally Melissa Lisa / Espace Tricot. And I think in the end, with our 27 colorways plus one variegated, so there's 27 tonal colorways, and then we've got one variegated colorway, which was a holdover from the previous palette, which Lisa had designed with, called the Mystery of Love. Do you want to show that one?
So this is the Mystery of Love. And we haven't had it available because Annie sort of changed her speckling technique. And so she had to work out the kinks in order to be able to match the color to what it is we originally had. So if you remember way back when, I designed the La Duca kick sweater and shawl, and it was the Mystery of Love colorway. So we're going to be creating kits. So these skeins, actually, Annie just dropped them off for our approval, and we approve wholeheartedly.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
So we're going to be getting kits up again for the La Duca shawl, and then we have also we're going to have the kit with the contrasting color for the I-cord. So we had fun, and we had a hard time with the colors because we really wanted to have fun with the colors, and we wanted them to reflect our city, our province. And then we got like frustrated. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter, it'll be whatever. And then we're like, no, let's focus.
No, let's be really
very hard. So
yeah, so maybe we should just move that. Well, I was going to say the whole wrap over. Yeah, maybe not.
It's kind of a disaster.
Yeah. Okay, never mind, Lise.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Okay.
Oh well. Okay, now that you said it, let's suck it up and pull it over.
Just pull it over.
I just worry because the cleaning lady's gonna be here any minute.
Well, if we wrap it all up in a hurry, you guys, it's because our cleaning lady arrived. Yeah, it's in the frame.
It's good, c'est beau.
So yeah, so it's missing some colors towards the bottom, but it's just basically missing black.
So, and some of the colors you might like, it might be hard for you to say. That's another thing. We're like, oh, can English people say some of these names that we're choosing? And also, some of them represent nature, some of them represent buildings, some landscapes, but they're not so obvious, you know. So, like for example, this one is called Cathedral because we have Mary Queen of the World Cathedral, and this reminds us of the patina on the copper roof. So that's why we called it Cathedral.
And then we talked about Bonjour High and why we named that one Bonjour High. And then we have our black, which is called Leonard after Leonard Cohen because
he's
jet black hair. Exactly.
We have Habitant, and Habitant is kind of a nod to, like, in Quebec, like in the villagers, you call them habitants, but also Quebec is known also for its pea soup, split pea soup, and there's a brand called Habitant Pea Soup. It's something you have when you go to the cabane à sucre, and that families always made at home, so that's called Habitant.
Yes, and when you go to the cabane à sucre, you have maple syrup, which is what that is, and so this one's called érable, which is maple syrup.
This one, maple. Yeah, we're not going to go through all of them, but we're kind of having fun. Now, Ogilvy, there's a department store in Montreal called Ogilvy's, and this is it's the color of their tartan,
exactly.
which is on their bag, and then also this color of the building has this color as well.
Their logo.
Yeah, their logo. So we call this Ogilvy.
Okay, and we call this Tadoussac because there's a beautiful hotel in Quebec called
in Tadoussac.
In Tadoussac.
And it's called Hotel Tadoussac, and the roof is red.
And the roof is exactly this color.
It's
and
iconic.
It was if you are familiar with Hotel New Hampshire, the book by John, Lisa, help me. The movie was shot at Tadoussac, Hotel Tadoussac, so you would recognize it. And then this one's Chateau because we felt it just looked like the stones on the
Chateau Frontenac.
Exactly.
Hotel New Hampshire. Oh, okay. It's actually giving. Oh, John Irving.
John Irving.
There you go. Everything's on the internet. I'm just kind of having fun here. Musée.
Yeah.
Because it reminded us of all the museums in Montreal and the beautiful stone that the museums were built with. We have truffle, which is a nod to the forests and the mushrooms that we find in the Montreal forest.
Madeleine, Lise.
Madeleine. Madeleine is from Les Îles de la Madeleine.
Yeah.
They are known for their blue skies and their open blue ocean, and there's lots of wind, and blue is very present. And I have a friend who has a cottage there, and she sent us a photo, and so we called it Madeleine. So again, it's not obvious how we named them, but...
And this one's called Ibu, which is owl, like snowy owl. And this one is Nuage, just clouds.
And this one, Folie from Les Francopholies. So that's a big French festival that happens, a music festival in Montreal. And the signs are very vibrant and colorful. And so that reminded us of that. And
Did you truffle already?
Yes, I just did truffle. And we did chateau. And what's the nuage?
I just did nuage.
Oh, you did? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Rocket. Oh, this is Rocket for the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens hockey team, and the famous Rocket Richard, who was a well-known hockey player. So it's a blue that we named him.
And this is called Sous-bois, which is like undergrowth, which is just, reminds us of all the woods around here in the forests of Quebec, where you can just lose yourself on hikes. And this color holds a special place for me because we worked long and hard, Annie and I, on getting just the right shade. So it had to have black, it had to have yellow, it had to have green.
I know. So some of them were quite challenging, right? Some of them were good right off the bat, and other ones were quite challenging. And this one is Baleine, which is a nod to the whales that are off the coast of in the St. Lawrence, where the St. Lawrence meets the Atlantic Ocean, up in the Gaspé, Charlevoix area. And this one is Tempête, because it reminded us of the black... Was this the one of like the black ice?
Yeah, but Tempête means more storm, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like the storm and yeah, I guess like this, like there's a storm, so there's like blues and greens and the oceans mixed with the sea. Yeah, no, it was the image that we got when we saw that. And I think we might have gone...
We're missing Boreal and Terroir. But Terroir was the wine colored one.
Oh, yeah.
So that one we're just out of stock.
Yeah, we said Terroir because Quebec is really starting to get into the wine agriculture. Yeah. And we have a particular terroir here that's different. So that was that one. And this one we forgot, Cinéma.
Cinema.
So Montreal has like a history of like cinéma noir and all kinds of festivals.
And it looks dark, but next to the black you'll see that it's actually a charcoal gray. Oh, I mean, how beautiful are those? How beautiful is this yarn, you guys? So we're just wanting to design all the things with this right now.
And this one is Sweet Pea. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is that the only reason we called it Sweet Pea? Sean calls me Sweet Pea, and
exactly. And you wanted a pinky.
Yeah, pinky. This one was hard to get, right? Because we were going from the pink to the mauve and back and forth. So Melissa worked long and hard with Annie for this. Yeah. And then she worked long and hard with me for this one. So we ended up calling it Sweet Pea, which is my little nickname that Sean's been calling me for 24 years.
And there you go.
And I think we said we weren't going to do them.
I know, and we did them all.
Yeah. Oh, did we do this one here?
Yeah, Leonard.
Oh, yeah, Leonard. This one is Leonard, too. So how fun it is for us to share that with you. It was really lots of fun for us to play with that.
So as we said, those are dyed for us by Annie Perrin. And Annie is unfortunately just one person with a full-time job. And so, it's, we're just having to be patient in between each delivery. We are now on a schedule where we're getting a delivery every 2 weeks. So hopefully we won't have as long a stretch as we had after our initial launch.
But please be patient with us. Yes. And, if there's really a color you want, we have our little special order book that our staff is like, no, but our
we will call you when if you've asked us to put something aside for you, we will call you as soon as we
so don't be shy
and I
to
just wanted to mention too that we created more kits this morning for the Gracious sweater, which is what a mess it is over here, you guys.
We need to photograph this for Instagram, 100%.
I mean, this is terrible. There are actually samples on the floor, which is awful.
No.
Okay, so this is the Gracious sweater that I don't know, came out
a while ago.
The
beginning of the
before
summer.
The trip, right? Okay, so this came out, and we had some kits. They sold out, and now with our new shipment of the Gracious this weekend, we have kits for this one of each skein will do size 1 to 3, and then there is a kit with 6 skeins, and that will allow you to go to the largest size. from size 4 upwards.
And Melissa and I are actually working on a shawl pattern together. So we've designed it. We've written up the basic structure of it. So hopefully we'll be getting that out soon because Melissa's done the sweater and she's done the nice Bonjour
And it won't be
warmer.
stranded with mohair.
No, because I'm part owner of the design. So
Although you're proud, right, Lisa? I didn't put
yeah,
mohair
I
in
know.
that
It's
one.
like so nice. You're not a one-trick pony, Melissa. Much more dimension to you. So
more hair or no mohair.
So we're working on that. So hopefully it'll take us a while, but it'll eventually get out. So, I mean, what's great is that with more staff helping us on the day-to-day, we're able to free ourselves a little bit more for design work. However, with our new space downstairs, it slowed us down a little bit in that area. So, anyway,
Everything is getting a little slowed down, but everything is progressing.
Yes, exactly, at a lovely speed.
Yes.
And we should then very quickly talk about the Knit for Fun retreat with Cindy and Ann Budd. So, I mean, it was really, we sort of had to be pushed into that because Melissa and I, as a lot of you know, we're
not
just like, we're
traveling and vending.
And vending and also retreats. It's very, we feel so humbled every time because people welcome us with open arms and we just feel so shy about the whole thing. Even though we seem to talk a lot, we still have an innate shyness within us.
Just on the podcast.
Because really, there's nobody here. It's just a screen. We're looking at ourselves, how vain we are. And so we were just going, we're just going to go up to the retreat and, meet everyone and just kind of be a fly on the wall. And then, they kind of convinced us to vend. So we got a truck and Melissa was fantastic. She drove. I usually drive us.
Cargo van driver, you guys.
So I pretty much drive us everywhere we go, even in town when we run errands. It's so funny. So Melissa rents the van and then we go to pick up the van and she's like, so who's gonna drive? We don't talk about it at all.
We just rent the van,
and I'm like,
at least it's I'm not driving
no,
a van. I don't know how to drive a van. I've never driven a van.
She's
I'm not driving a van. I'm like, so I'm driving the van.
It's not a minivan. It's like a cargo van. Anyways, she was fantastic, stellar, totally confident, and it's like she's like, I think I want to get it now.
I want a van.
It's like you're all up. So it was.
What do I need? How can I get myself a cargo van?
Yeah, exactly.
Permanently.
So our staff was fantastic. They prepared the bins for us, and we got it all into the cargo van. And we got there, and the staff from the hotel was fantastic. They unloaded everything for us, and we set up.
And it was a pleasure from beginning to end.
Yeah.
These Knit for Fun retreats truly are fun.
Yeah.
Cindy and Anne treated us so beautifully.
Well. The people were fantastic.
That attended the retreat were wonderful. Yeah.
And they were just so like you said, fun and like very just there to have a good time and relax with an open
spirit.
Very
warm, very down to earth, very enthusiastic, very just there to learn and to be together and have a nice time.
Yeah, and we were so grateful that Françoise gave up her weekend to come and help us. And funny enough, they had rented a cottage close by from friends, and so she was able to go back and come up the second day. So that was nice. And Tremblant was fantastic.
Yeah.
The hotel at Tremblant, the food was amazing.
Yeah,
the service, I don't think I've ever had such great service and friendliness at a hotel. So it
was a perfect weekend.
Yeah,
it was
and
then actually there was an add-on. There was a 4-day add-on in Montreal. So everybody, I think there were 30 participants who actually decided to do the 4-day add-on in Montreal. And so on the Monday we came back. On the Sunday dropped everything off, and then on Monday hosted a big group in the shop doing dyeing workshops with Julie Asselin, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And then it was hilarious because the ladies kept coming back. They were in town for 4 days, so we really got to know a few of them because they kept coming back to shop for yarn.
Yeah. So it was really fun, and for us it was a nice introduction to that. So hopefully when Knit City comes to Montreal, it's a different format. It's not a retreat. It's more sort of like a Vogue Knitting live event. So that's kind of lots of things happen. We kind of forget when it's been a few months.
I know.
But so the next podcast we'll be talking about.
It's been quite jam-packed since we got back from our trip, Lisa, hasn't it?
It has. I don't know what's wrong with us. We kind of forget these things.
Because it's a lot of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening. And Melissa and I were just saying, oh my God, it's always about work, that we need to make more of an effort to just let go of that and do friendship things.
Yeah. Hang out. Not talk about
like the
work.
good old days,
exactly.
Like the good old days. So I guess that's it. The next time you'll hear from us will just be our pre-Rhinebeck podcast. So we better get knitting on our sweaters.
Yes, exactly.
And Yeah, I think that's it, eh? So thanks so much for sticking with us and listening to us and for supporting us during our travels with our Instagram posts.
And patiently waiting for us to podcast again.
Yeah, very generous, and we really appreciate everything. And everyone also who wished me happy birthday wishes. I'm very grateful, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. So that's it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.